handoff up the middle again. Peterson's got some room up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
It's time for high school sports on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE Channel. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Abby's Pizza, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Les Schwab Tires, and Sangster Motors. Now, let's go to live coverage of high school sports on the NCWLIFE Channel, your local TV station.
Panthers win the district championship.
Good evening, football fans, and welcome to a very rainy and wet Wildcat Stadium. Along with Grant Olson, I'm Eric Granstrom as we bring you playoff football. It's the Eastmont Wildcats, ranked 19th in the state, taking on the 20th ranked Richland Bombers. Just 2 months ago, Grant, you were here with Eric Kuntz, and you guys were sweating to death up in that booth.
It was about 115 degrees that day playing Meade, and it's just the opposite here. But there's never been anything gradual about our weather.
No,
it goes from summer right to fall, and now we're right into winter.
Flip a switch. Rain is falling. It's about 38 degrees right now. Winds are supposed to pick up later. I should leave that up to you, Mr. Weatherman.
Like Dan, we were talking about it earlier, Kuntz and I, that it's going to come a little bit later now. So maybe halftime into the second half, it might start picking up a little bit. Originally, we thought it'd be windy now, but it just hasn't come up. Still raining, but no wind.
Well, and that's going to play a part in what's going on here tonight. We're going to talk about that as we continue here on the pregame show. We also have Coach Michael Don joining us a little bit later on, and Austin Ruffins. Austin, one of the three-headed monsters for the Eastmont Wildcats, is they love to run it. And a night like this, Grant, you need a mutter, don't you?
This is going to be perfect for Eastmont football. They do keep it on the ground. 67 or 68% of their plays are on the ground. So this is kind of playing into Eastmont's hands.
Well, and meanwhile, Richland loves to throw the ball. 70% of the time they throw the ball. So talk about that from a receiver standpoint and trying to grab these balls that, I know the ball boys and I know the officials are going to try to do their job, try to do their best to keep the balls dry, but it's tough to hang on to.
When you're a passing team, it makes it tougher, I think. The quarterback has to have a good grip. The receiver not only has to have a good grip when he catches it, but footing is a big thing out here tonight. And I think the advantage goes to a running team like Eastmont.
Well, one thing they did do to try to save the field here today, it's been raining all day, been raining since last night here in East Wenatchee, is they moved the freshman game over to Eastmont Junior High School to try to save the surface. Now, this surface has already had 2 soccer games this week. It's been a couple of weeks since they had a football game here, but, it looks like it's absorbing the moisture so far.
And as we were talking about walking over here, it hasn't been watered for 3 weeks, so it is going to absorb a lot of this moisture. You and I were walking on it earlier. It didn't seem slick yet, but if this keeps up, it'd probably change throughout the game.
Well, and we'll see how the temperatures, how the weather, how the water affects handling that football. Speaking of, are you ready for some football? We're ready to go here. It's Eastmont and Richland. We'll have more coming up on the pregame show next here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
NCWLIFE Channel is up.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Paul Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
Welcome back here on the pregame show along with Grant Olson. I'm Eric Granstrom on the NCWLIFE Channel. Let's dive into this game a little bit here. Richland, a storied program. They won the state championship just 5 years ago. Mike Neidhold has 111 wins. They've been around since the 40s. This is their 800th game here tonight. How do you battle a team and a program that's been around a long time like that?
And to throw in there, they're 501, 282, and 16 in those 800 games. So talk about a storied football program. It's got to be on the minds of Eastmont players. They know this is a storied program and a really tough football team. So I think it would actually motivate you a little bit more to play a team like this, and they play in a very tough conference too.
Yeah, the Mid-Columbia Conference, they come into tonight's game with a record of 5-4, and that might be a little misleading because they had several close games. In fact, the last 2 weeks in a row, they come in on a 2-game losing streak here. They lost by a point last week in a game that saw 80-some-odd points against Mountain View.
Amazing. You know, they played 4 playoff teams in their division. They beat Hanford. They lost to Kamayakan, Kennewick, and Chiawana, who are all playoff teams, and those were all competitive games. So that gives you an idea that Richland is a pretty tough team. Lost some of those games like last week in the end of the game.
Well, meanwhile, Eastmont comes in after the miraculous win last week against Moses Lake to get themselves into this home game here tonight. They could very well have been on the road here on this Friday evening. They give up a 21-point lead. Moses Lake comes back, takes the lead to get a last-second touchdown pass from 56 yards on the last play of the game. It was amazing by Luke Gale. So do you feel lucky if you're Eastmont, or do you feel, oh, you know, we just, it's another game, it's another Friday night, and we get a home game now?
You know, I think if they wouldn't have had that big lead late in the game, they might feel like they were lucky. But I think this is something that they thought almost slipped away from them. They should have won this game handily in the fourth quarter, but they let Moses Lake get back into it. So I don't think they feel lucky to be here.
Well, let's talk about the matchup here. We mentioned a rushing team versus a passing team. It's two completely opposite, polar opposites, where Eastmont comes in with 2,349 yards rushing, 26 touchdowns on the ground. They're averaging 8.6 yards per play on the ground. They're going to be a ground and pound game tonight. I got to believe they're going to. Why would you put it in the air unless you have to?
Especially on a night like this. I think they're going to go to their bread and butter, and that's on the ground. And on the other side, Josh Woodard is thrown for almost 2,000 yards and 24 touchdowns on the season. So it's a tale of two different styles, Eric. But boy, you look at the stats. Both teams have averaged about 31 points a game on offense, and both have given up about 18 on defense. So they couldn't be any closer in the stats, but they couldn't be any different in styles of football.
And something we'll point out as we talk to Michael Don on our pregame show coming up is they have been a big play team all season long. Of their 40 touchdowns, 21 have been over 20 yards or more. That's the difference could be in this game, according to Michael Don. He says it could come down to big plays and how many do we give up? How many do we get?
But unfortunately, if you're a big play team, this is not good weather for you. This is kind of screen pass weather and maybe slant passes and not going down the field. So I think, once again, advantage Eastmont in that regard.
Well, Richland has very speedy wide receivers. They've got, 4 coming in with over 500 yards in receiving. Seth Shook, Tanner Schuster, Colson Mackey, and Brody Bosick. Here's a freshman. And I talked to the coach, and he said, we never play freshmen. And here he is, a starter, and he's done pretty well. In fact, he leads with 6 touchdowns receiving in only his 212 yards. So that's pretty good.
And you're a freshman and you're playing on this football team, you're good. Yep. That's all there is to that.
Meanwhile, it's going to be a heavy dose of Gunnar Peterson and Colby King and Austin Ruffins, who's going to join us on our pregame show. And we'll talk about the fact that he's got a cast on his hand. I didn't get a chance to see him. They were talking about maybe getting that off. But, a wet night here tonight, you're already hampered with one hand, for goodness sakes. How do you hold on to that football?
You know, it makes it even tougher. This kid has been amazing all season long. He's been hurt just about his whole career in one way or another, but he adjusts, and he knows how to adjust mentally. I would think the hardest thing for him is to catch a ball out of the backfield, but he seems to be a great blocker, and he's still running the ball without fumbling, but we'll see if he can hold on to it tonight.
So it's a chess match here between two very experienced coaches. You've got Michael Don, the head coach for Eastmont, now in his 8th season with the Wildcats, and you've got Mike Nyhold, who's been around, I think, since Jesus was a kid, just about 20 years at the helm at Richland, with a couple of state championships under his belt, and his coaching staff. They have Prosser lineage, and so too is where Michael Don comes from, so that's not a bad place to be from.
All great coaches. It's like they're all below Mike Holmgren, or you know what I mean, Sean McVay and all these great coaches. It's kind of like that fraternity, and yeah, they're well coached, both teams, and that's going to make this fun to watch too.
We'll come back with more of the pregame show. We'll talk with Michael Don. We'll talk with Austin Ruffins, and we'll get you ready for the kickoff. It's Richland. It's Eastmont here on a very wet night at Wildcat Stadium as we continue here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
NCWLIFE Channel is up.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary seller's assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Our pregame show continues here on the NCWLIFE Channel as we get ready for Richland and Eastmont. And Coach Mike Don joining us now. Of course, we record this on Thursday. It's cold, and you got a bunch of nut jobs out here without any shirts on right now.
Oh, you never know what we're going to get with this group of guys. They have fun, and, they're complaining about it being cold yesterday, but apparently today they don't feel it.
Yeah, well, okay. Weather could be a factor for this game. I look at it as a passing versus running in game, so that means it benefits you, right?
Absolutely. Bring on as much wind as we can get. We're ready to go. We'll take advantage of any opportunity we get with that. But, hopefully we'll see. It could be rainy, could be windy, it could be a tough one, but it'll be a fun one.
This is going to be great because Richland has quite a tradition of winning, and in fact, I hear that the lineage for you and some of their coaches goes back to Prosser days. Is that true?
Yeah, I know a lot of, not a lot anymore, but a few guys on staff. Josh Jelinek, their offensive coordinator, is a Prosser guy. Tyler Thomas, who I believe is coaching their quarterbacks as a Prosser, or their receivers as a Prosser guy, might be quarterbacks. And they have. Coach Moore was just there until he moved down to Texas, and so they've got some good Prosser connections there, and I know those guys well, and looking forward to competing against them.
Well, they've got, speaking of quarterbacks, a guy who can sling it around the yard and some pretty talented fast receivers. Is this speed versus speed here in this game?
I do. I think they got some guys who can run well, and I think we got guys who run well, and there could be a lot of speed on the football field, and they do some things really well. They've got two middle linebackers who are really good, and then offensively, they've got a lot of guys with good ball skills and a quarterback who can throw it.
Yeah, linebacker who's leading the team in tackles, and he can cause some havoc. That's for sure. Talk about that as far as your offensive line is with your program and with what you like to do with running the football. Can't afford to get any leakage through there, right?
No, and we just got to make sure we're fundamentally sound and picking those guys up because they run well, and we got to slow them down with a lot of our misdirection. But they've got a guy who's returning first team all-leaguer, 200-pound linebacker, and they have another 195-pound linebacker, and they look like our offensive linemen do. Yeah. Our kids will get after it. They'll be fast. They'll be physical.
Your running attack, of course, is key for you guys. Coming up here in a few moments, we're going to talk to Austin Ruffins and talk about this senior and what he's been able to do even with a broken hand.
Yeah, Austin's, he's had a tough career as far as injuries go. Every year he's had something happen. He's had to miss a significant amount of games in his career, and, he just keeps persevering. And this year he missed a game earlier, and then he broke his hand and got it casted up, and he's been playing with the cast on. And, he's still catching the ball with the cast on. He's running the ball well with the cast on, and he's one of our better blocking running backs.
What is an X factor for this one?
I think making a big play when it needs to happen. It's making that big play when it needs to happen. It's, who's going to make the big catch, who's going to make the big run, make the play defensively as a DB, make a pick, something like that. It's going to be some kind of turning moment in the game that's going to separate it.
Well, this team kind of feels a little like West Valley. I mean, where they have those big plays. I think of their 40 touchdowns, 21 have been 20 yards or more. Yeah. So you also need to counter those big plays with your own or try to keep them from getting those big plays, right?
Yeah, no, we got to make sure we keep them in front of us defensively, and offensively, that's kind of what we've been all year. It's just a big play machine. Colby averages since we started league 16 yards per carry. Austin's averaging 11. Gunner's averaging 9.5. Adrian averages 24 yards per time he catches the ball. So we've just been extremely explosive.
Well, I talked to Coach Neidhold. He says all you hope for this time of year is another Monday. That means you're still playing. So best of luck on that. Keep everybody healthy.
Thank you.
You bet. Michael Don joining us here on the pregame show. We'll come back and get you, as we mentioned, Austin Ruffins will join us on the pregame show as we continue next here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE Channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35-plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Pregame show continues here on the NCWLIFE Channel, and yes, the weather has changed, and I think that might be good for the running game for the Eastmont Wildcats. Talking with Austin Ruffins now. Talk about this season for you. You guys have had kind of a three-headed monster out of the backfield. It's been kind of fun.
Extremely fun. I mean, all three of us are super explosive, all have the speed, so we just all make big plays.
Do you guys have any kind of a challenge between the three of you about, okay, I'm going to bust the longest one tonight, that type of thing?
I mean, it's never said, but I think it's always thought about, you know? But, I mean, I always try and bust the longest run, but...
Well, I mean, your guys' average per rush shows that you guys certainly have the ability to break one. Talk about this season and that hand situation. Were you worried that you might not be able to play after that?
Yeah. Well, when it first happened, I was told that it was either broken or fractured, and the first thing I thought was I was going to have surgery and that my season was going to be over. But once I found out that I could get the cast, I was super happy, super excited.
So how hard has that been to adjust to having to wear that to carry the ball?
Not super hard because, no, I take handoffs like with my left hand, so I always carry it with the left. But catching the ball is pretty tough.
Well, and Coach Don talked about that, where they kept you on that side of the ball so that you would have the other hand, you know, when you got the handoff. So that helped you a little bit, I imagine.
Yeah, helps a lot, except can't use the stiff arm, but that's all right.
Let's talk about this game and playoffs and everything else. What are you guys expecting from Richland? I know you've watched them on film. You've prepared all week. What are you expecting tonight?
Extremely physical game. I mean, they're pretty big. Got some good athletes, but yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good game.
So as a senior, I mean, you go back to summer, weight training and all that stuff to get ready for just this moment. I mean, does it feel like it's kind of flown by?
Super fast. Yeah, it feels like just the other day I was just playing with the 3 years ago seniors. Yeah. And now.
See, and as a senior, you have that perspective, and you tell the freshmen, you tell the sophomores, okay, enjoy it because it's going to go by quick. Oh, yeah, right? Because I'm sure you thought the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even this year, I didn't think it was going to go by this fast. It's gone by crazy fast.
Okay, so this is kind of a running attack versus a passing attack with Richland here tonight. Does that advantage Eastmont, especially if the weather turns out the way they're expecting it to be?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, it should because we're a run-dominant team, and they're a pass-dominant team. But their run game is pretty good, so I think it'll be a good, I don't know.
A good matchup, I'm sure. With the cold, I mean, we went from weird. It's been a weird year. I mean, we were smoked out forever. You guys were inside. Now it's colder than heck. So do you man up and go bare sleeves? You don't wear any extra clothing, or are you like, I'm going to be smart and be warm?
No. I mean, no sleeves, no nothing. Okay. But I have to wear the long socks. Got to keep the legs warm.
Right. Let's talk about, in school. Do you have a favorite subject? What do you like to study?
My favorite subject right now is probably psychology.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What about psychology interests you?
Just the whole study of the mind, learning about all the different types of mental disorders.
Yeah. Well, and it's also, I mean, for you seniors especially, what you've gone through in your years in high school and COVID and all of the psychology that has gone with that. I mean, it's been a challenge for you guys.
Yeah, it has.
So what about after school? You want to follow that route, or what do you want to do?
I kind of want to go into chiropractic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Straighten some spines and get everybody on the back and healthy. So, well, best of luck here tonight. Stay healthy, and here's hoping we get another Monday to practice for next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
There you go. Austin Ruffin's joining us here on the pregame show. We'll come back and get you the starting lineups and kickoff on the way next.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chair on the other side. You can just
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
Ooh. You find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Welcome back to Wildcat Stadium here at East Wenatchee, Washington, as we get ready for a wet night here as the Eastmont Wildcats take on the Richland Bombers along with Grant Olson. I'm Eric Granstrom. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. Let's start with Richland's offense, and our lineup brought to you by TC Slingers. Let TC Slingers save you time, money, and labor with their conveyor application. Call for your free estimate today at 509-885-2269. That's 885-2269. TC Slingers of Wenatchee, your landscape placement company. Well, starting up front, they got a lot of seniors. In fact, all but one on the offensive line are seniors here for the Richland Bombers. At center, Garrett Mills, a 6'3", 210-pound senior. The guards on the right side, Ethan Potter, a 5'11", 195-pound senior. And the left guard, Davis Robertson, who is a 6', 240-pound senior. The tackles on the right side, Bennett Lehman is 6'4", 265. The left tackle, Nathan McClellan, 6'4", and 200. The wideouts, and boy, you got to keep an eye on these if you're Eastmont's defense here tonight. Tanner Schuster is one of the wide receivers, a 6'2", 185-pound senior. He wears number 7. Number 9 is that freshman we were talking about on the pregame show, Brody Bosick, a 5'11", 150-pound freshman. Colson Mackey, he's a big one, 6'3" and 170. He's a sophomore. He wears number 6. Number 5 is Seth Shook. Watch for him to be the favorite target of Josh Woodard. Shook is 5'11", 175 pounds. He's a senior, and boy, can he scoot. We mentioned Josh Woodard. He's the quarterback, 5'11", 165 pounds. He's thrown for 1,889 yards and 24 touchdowns. By the way, he's just a junior. As Richland takes the field here at Wildcat Stadium, Eastmont, meanwhile, doing their slow march in with the red and blue smoke aloft as they get ready to take the field and hope to protect the field here tonight at Wildcat Stadium. The tailback for the Richland Bombers is Landon Charlton. He's a 5'11", 180-pound senior. Meanwhile, on the defensive side of the ball, and they're going to have their hands full here tonight, up front, the nose guard is Ricky Kalunga, a 5'8", 216-pound sophomore. Connor Frazier is a 6'3", 232-pound junior. The defensive ends, Kellen Leonard, a 6'3", 205-pound senior, and Skylar Bryant, a 5'8", 180-pound junior. The linebackers on the inside, Josh Leonhardt, who's a 5'6", 188-pound junior. Outside linebackers, Jesus Villa, a 5'8", 170-pound sophomore, as Eastmont takes the field here at Wildcat Stadium. The other outside linebacker, Nez Shoemaker, a 5'5", 138-pound junior. Meanwhile, on the corners, it's Peyton Guest, a 5'7", 155-pound junior, and Seth Stone, a 5'11", 150-pound senior. The safeties, Graydon Schneider, a 5'11", 168-pound junior, and Tyson Mora, a 5'7", 140-pound junior. As I mentioned, the teams coming in, Richland with a 5-4 mark overall, Eastmont at 5-4 as well, actually 5-3 on the season, as they had one that was, well, weathered out, if you will. And, well, I had somebody text me and say, are they still going to play even though it's raining? This isn't baseball. This is football. We've got our anthem straight ahead and our coin toss and kickoff. That's coming up here next on the NCWLIFE Channel.
I believe we've been coming to Abby's for 56 years, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
56 years.
Remembering all the events as a family and a community that we spent at Abby's.
Excellent and delicious food at an affordable price. We're delighted that we live close enough to be able to be a frequent customer.
And we are.
And we are. In fact, we've got orders to bring home a giant pizza when we leave here tonight.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's start here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Well, Terrell Shaw in his uniform singing our national anthem here tonight as we get ready for football on the NCWLIFE Channel. And the loser of tonight's game, their season's done.
That's right. Winner go home now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a good one on hand. And two, I think, equally matched teams. And we talked with Coach Don on our pregame show, and we talked about it as well. You've got some talent on both sides of the football. You got speed on both sides of the football. It's going to be who gives up the big play, who makes a big play here tonight.
That's what Coach Don said, that it may come down to that big play. I think you talked about it earlier, Eric. Turnovers are going to play a huge part in this game tonight. Slippery football with it being so wet out there, but I think that is going to be the key to tonight.
The captains approaching center of the field for our toss here tonight. Dennis Brandstetter is our referee tonight from the Chelan County Association. Gunnar Peterson is out there for a captain along with Luke Gale, Andrew Swan, and also out there for Eastmont is Guile Gonzalez. Meanwhile, the captains for Richland also shaking hands out there. You've got, looks like Tanner Schuster is one of those captains here for the Bombers. Also out there is Landon Charlton. Boy, he is a two-way player that you got to watch. He'll run the football. He'll also tackle you hard on defense.
And, speaking of that, Eric, so will Kehlani Stewart, the middle linebacker. We haven't talked about him much, but Coach Don did mention him as being a very talented player. And by the looks of the stats, he carries the ball every once in a while, too. So we'll keep our eye on him tonight.
Yeah, Kehlani Stewart will line up as their middle linebacker. And it looks like Eastmont is going to receive the football first. So, of course, the one time I don't get it right here is our starting lineups were announced by TC Slingers. Let's take a look at the starters on offense here for Eastmont. The center is Gabriel Arizmendi. The guards, Andrew Swan and Damian Arellano. The tackles, Gael Gonzalez and Ernie Villa. Meanwhile, the wideouts, Adrian Ruffins. And in the backfield, running the ball from the wings back spot will be Austin Ruffins and Colby King. Gunnar Peterson is the tailback, and Luke Gale is the quarterback. He is just a junior. Meanwhile, defensively up front for Richland, Bennett Lehman is a defensive tackle. He's 265, and then he's alongside David Robertson, who's 240. Zane Wycombe is a defensive end, and Luke Stanfield, the other defensive end. The linebackers we just mentioned, Kehlani Stewart, Landon Charlton, and Isaiah Galvez, the linebackers. The corners, Race Reeves and Tanner Schuster, and the safeties, Torrin Belliston and Seth Shook.
Ready to go for some football, Eric. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one here tonight. It has been raining all day. It continues to pour down right now. Temperatures are cold, and we'll see how the grip on the football is here tonight. It will be Jason Slack who will tee it up here for Richland as the Wildcats will be on offense to start this football game. And we'll see right away, as soon as that ball hits the surface, how slick it becomes as we get ready for football here tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel. Thanks for joining us on our broadcast locally on TV, on Local 12 Channel 12, Charter Channel 19, as well as on our Facebook page. So Slack has it teed up. King is back to receive, and this short kick will be taken by the up man at the 15-yard line to the 20-25. And a little bit beyond that for Eastmont on the return, it was Austin Akel. As Akel gets a short gain on the return out to about the 27-yard line, and that's where Eastmont will have it first down and 10 to start our ball game. We are underway here at Wildcat Stadium. We talked so much, Grant, in our pregame show about how Eastmont should run the football, and we think they're going to run the football. Watch them throw on first down.
I wouldn't doubt it a bit. I really wouldn't.
Luke Gale has 842 yards passing so far this season, 10 touchdowns through the air. He's also thrown 6 interceptions, but most of those were early on in the campaign. Gale will line him up here, and then it's all about Arizmendi, the center, and his grip on the football. Gale going to go under center here. He'll put a man in motion. That's King, and Colby has the handoff going right side. Got a good block. Gets it around the corner to the 30 and out to about the 33-yard line. Get about 6-7 yards on first down for Eastmont.
Little different look on offense that time, but still the same wing T formation and good blocking on that right side. A gain of about 7 on that first down.
Out to the 34-yard line. It is a gain of 7 as we are underway, and Eastmont goes to the ground game as we thought it would be, kind of a ground chuck game here tonight.
Right.
Ruffins will line up as the wing to the right, and he'll get the handoff coming back left. Tucks that into his left hand. Still, he does have a little padding, but he doesn't have the same club on his right hand. And he'll take it ahead to the 45 and a first down for Eastmont on the 11-yard gain for Austin Ruffins.
And Gail Gonzalez, beautiful block on that left side. He really sprung that nice run by Ruffins.
So Ruffins will come out here. He's kind of shaking his head, so I'm not sure. They were doing another check on his hand. He broke the metacarpal bone on his middle finger of his right hand, and they've been trying to heal that up all season long. So he doesn't have the club, but he does have a big pad. He's out of the lineup here on a first down and 10 from the 45. Handoff, Gunnar Peterson's first carry across midfield. He's into Richland territory, inside the 40, and then finally stood up and dropped at the 35-yard line. Finally making the stop was the back, Tanner Schuster, but not before a big gain for Peterson to the Richland 35.
Nice gain of 25, and once again, trap blocking inside on the offensive line is springing those holes. Richland just not ready for the wing T, which they probably don't see that often, Eric.
I talked with Mike Neidhold about that. I said, how do you practice for that? He says, you can't.
Right.
You can't replicate that, especially when you have 4 days to prepare to meet a team like this. First down and 10 for Eastmont. First possession of the ball game, no score. And we're going to get a flag down and I think motion against the offense here. It is, as Eastmont was going to try to throw it for the first time here tonight and test the hands and test the ball stability. But instead it'll be 5 yards, and that's something we didn't really talk about on our pregame show, Grant. Penalties. Eastmont had 17 penalties in the game last week, the miraculous win over Moses Lake. But you get to this time of year, you can't afford to have too many penalties.
And it's amazing they won with 17 penalties. Yeah. Usually if you get in double digits in penalties, you're probably not going to win the football game. But that's not the first time that's happened to Eastmont. We've done games where they've had 10 or 12 penalties.
Yeah, absolutely. Been averaging about 100 yards of penalties a game this season. So 1st and 15 now after the flag as it goes back to the 40-yard line. Left hash mark, and they're going to hand it around to the end, and nothing happened. And this time around, he got away from one tackler, got positive yardage, ends up with 3 yards on the carry, as it was, I think that's Landon Moore. They've got it listed at 34. He's normally wearing number 26.
Right.
They have different uniforms here tonight, but I believe that was Moore on the carry, and he'll take it ahead inside the 40 to the 37-yard line.
He's a good-looking running back bringing off the bench. Landon Moore, he's got a lot of playing time this year, and it seems like he gets better every time he gets in there.
So Ruffins will come in and replace Colby King. So an interesting mix of bodies here, early going here for Coach Don. Adrian Ruffins, meanwhile, split out wide to the far side of the field on the Richland side on this 2nd down. And here comes Richland right up the middle. The throw out in the flat. The ball is caught by West inside the 20 to the 15. He almost lost the football as he's taken down finally at the 11-yard line. Perfect play call for the blitz inside. Eastmont takes advantage. Another 1st down.
24 yards. Beautiful run after the catch by West. He shook the defender there. Is that Dylan McCamey, right? That caught that? Yeah, McCamey. Great job. And another 10 yards after the catch.
Actually, Jace Travato. It was 80 Jace Travato that caught
80.
that ball. So Eastmont with a 1st down just outside the 10-yard line. And it is a 1st down. And in motion, they hand it to the motion man. This is Ruffins coming around the left side. And he's knocked out of bounds inside the 10 to about the 6-yard line. We'll see where they put him down. It'll be actually to the 5, so a gain of 6 yards on that run by Austin Ruffins.
Well, it's been all the ground game as we expected for Eastmont here, other than the pass play of 24 yards. But other than that, it's been on the ground for Eastmont.
Yeah, that pass play, again, was to number 80 for Eastmont, and that's Jace Travato, as they do have different uniform numbers, some of them different from what they've had all season long. Handoff, Gunnar Peterson, left side. Just a dive play. He was grabbed a hold of by one man, and he's still pushing, and it did it to him. Touchdown, Eastmont. First score of the game comes on the ground.
Gunnar Peterson, 4 yards, and a nice push by his offensive line. And, you know, that's a penalty now in the NFL, assisting a runner. You can't do that anymore after it's been done a little bit, but that sure helped Gunnar Peterson there.
Absolutely. And if I'm an offensive lineman, I'm saying, hey, I'm not pushing on my guy. I'm pushing on those guys.
Right.
So now it'll be interesting to see how the ball is handled here on the extra point. It's all about the snap. It's all about the hold. And then the kick. Eastmont had some problems last week in Moses Lake with a kick that was blocked and a field goal late in that ball game. So it's Edgar Leon in to try to tack on the extra point. Grayson Schneider will hold, but first a penalty is going to be whistled on a procedure here against the offense, the kicking team. So
and when you're having a little bit of trouble in the kicking game, that's something you don't want to see is motion on an extra point play.
No, definitely not. They had a player that was late coming in, and well, you know, you've seen that a few times this season for Eastmont on the special teams, just not getting the right bodies in place. We even saw a timeout that was taken early in the second half of a game here at Wildcat Stadium. So it will extend the extra point here. They'll spot it at the 15, so it turns out to be a 25-yard extra point here for Leon. They snap back, the spot down, the kick away line drive, and it is no good, wide to the left. The snap was back, but the Grayson Schneider had to reach around to his right to then put it down to his left, and maybe just missed timing it there. So Eastmont will lead it 6-0 as we are 8:46 remaining here in the first quarter. We'll take a 30-second break and come back. You're watching playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, Remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
Well, the drive, 7 plays, 73 yards to start the ballgame for Eastmont. 5-yard touchdown run by Peterson. The extra point is wide to the left, and it's 6-0. Eastmont on top, and we'll see Richland's vaunted offense for the first time here in the ballgame, as Edgar Leon has it teed up at the 40-yard line. Also, watch out for the kick returners, Landon Charlton and Seth Shook. They have brought it all the way back several times this season, so you got to watch. And be sure and corral. A line drive kickoff will come down to Shook at the 5 to the 10, 15, right up the gut. Look out. He's got one man to beat.
Oh, boy.
How about that tackle there by Edgar Leon?
The kicker.
How about that? He saved the day.
Saved the touchdown, Eric.
He did.
Absolutely. Wow. Boy, that kid is quick. Shook for sure.
Out to the 39 is where the ball will sit with 8:39 to go here in the first quarter of play.
Here we go. Spread offense now, Eric. 4 receivers in this set. We're going to see that all night, maybe even 5 at times on this Richland offense.
Josh Woodard is the quarterback. Again, nearly 2,000 yards passing coming into the game tonight with 24 touchdowns through the air. He will line them up on first down from the Richland 39-yard line. We're a little slow to get a ball exchanged as the kicking ball needs to come back over to Eastmont's side. So they get that taken care of. And meanwhile, that ball sits in the rain a little bit out there. Woodard back in the shotgun. 3 receivers left and 1 to the right. He's going to turn and hand it off up the middle around the right side. And a good gain on first down. And just when you talk so much about the passing attack, they hand it off to Landon Charlton, and he'll take it up for a gain of about 8 yards on first down.
That was a nice run on first down. Like you said, it caught Eastmont a little bit off guard there. I think they're expecting pass every time, and a nice job of blocking on the right side of that line.
As we talked about, Charlton can certainly pack the rock. 2nd down and 1. That opens up the offense here for Richland if you want to try to take a stab early. Back to pass. Woodard wants to throw for it all. Going up the right sideline. The ball is incomplete over the outstretched arms of the intended receiver, Tanner Schuster. Pretty decent coverage, but the ball just a little overthrown, brings up 3rd down.
I'll tell you, and Jesus Villa laid the wood on quarterback Josh Woodard that time as he threw it, but just a little bit overthrown. You see his arm right there, though, huh, Eric?
Yeah,
beautiful
absolutely.
spiral.
Schuster comes out after that pass play to him, and he'll sprint to the sidelines. 3 receivers left here on 3rd down and 1. See if they go to the ground here, and they do. A handoff up the middle, spinning down to the ground at about the 50-yard line is the tailback Charlton, and he'll have enough for a first down on a gain of 2 yards.
Yeah, needed 1, got 2 right up the middle. Good blocking up front by that big offensive line.
Yeah, they've got 4 of the 5 offensive linemen are seniors, so lots of experience up there.
And that matters, Eric. It really does.
Especially in a game like this. And
speaking to a former lineman.
You got a team here, too, that is used to playing in the postseason, used to playing in big games under the spotlight. First down and 10 from midfield. Option left, and Woodard wants to keep it. And stripping at the ball was Eastmont's defender as they brought him down on the play. It looked like it was... I think Frazier was it maybe Kalunga who had a hand on him. It's just a gain of a yard. Good job by Eastmont's defense up front.
It might be a little bit different look for Richland, an option play, which I'm sure they don't run a lot during the season, but they might be showing Eastmont something a little new tonight too.
Well, Woodard had 50 carries on the season coming in, 149 yards and a couple of touchdowns on the ground. 2nd down and 9 here. Eastmont showing a blitz, and he pumps left, throws left. The ball is caught over there, and there was a receiver blocking downfield as the ball was thrown. Surprised the official didn't see that. The ball caught over there by Carlson Mackey. He's a big target. He gets it ahead to the Eastmont 43. It'll bring up 3rd down.
I like that sidearm delivery. Had to go around a defensive player, almost a Mahomes or Allen-like there on that sidearm throw. Just shows you the level of talent that Woodard has.
Well, here's that jumbo formation now. On film, they run it out of this formation all the time. Let's see if they do here on a 3rd down and short as they bring in an extra running back. Woodard waiting for the snap. He gets it, turns, hands it off. Charlie had big first down and more. Cutting back is the running back this time. It's Kalani Stewart. We talked about how he will come in and run it, and he gets it all the way to the Eastmont 30 and a first down.
13 yards on that carry by Stewart. He's a big boy, 6'1", 205 pounds. So once he gets that momentum going, he's hard to bring down and a tough kid.
So a first down for Richland. They will keep that jumbo formation out there with Stewart and Charlton in the backfield, bordering Woodard, all on either side on a first down and 10 from Eastmont's 30. Trying to answer an opening touchdown. Charlton with a big gain around the left side up the Richland sideline before he's finally spun out of bounds there. And I'll tell you, Grant, the Bombers are doing well on those outside plays because the receivers are blocking downfield.
They are getting such great seal blocks around the edge there, and it's really keeping those linebackers from Eastmont to pursue over that side, far side of the field. So great job of blocking by this line so far.
8 yards for Charlton on that carry. Brings up 3rd down and 2 here for the Bombers. Eastmont up 6-0. First quarter action here at Wildcat Stadium. A turn and handoff again. Dive play up the middle. Not much happening that time as the Wildcats did a good job of converging defensively. Looks like Prazer was there along with the middle backer Leonhard here. A gain of just a yard to the 21. Going to bring up 3rd down. Small crowd on hand here tonight. I think we got a lot of folks that decided to stay home where it's warm and dry.
I don't blame them.
Watch the broadcast here on NCWLIFE Channel. So big 3rd down here, 3rd and a long one. Need to get inside the 20 to about the 19 for a first down. Eastmont cheating up front, the handoff up the middle, and over the left side. Charlton looks like he's going to get enough for the first down. They stop the clock saying, yep, first down on a gain to the 18.
Boy, just barely. Good defensive push by the defensive line for Eastmont to limit that to only a yard.
Clock continues to wind as they reset the change with 5:35 to go here in this opening quarter. Eastmont up 6-0, but Richland in the red zone now at the 18 of the Wildcats. Again, jumbo formation in around Woodard. Woodard turns, hands off, and this is Stewart again on a dive play up the middle, but Eastmont is right there to stand him up. A gain of maybe a yard on the play for Stewart.
You can tell that Stewart isn't an every day, every play running back. He kind of runs straight up and down. A big kid, if he just lowered his head and upper body a little bit, it'd be that much stronger.
2nd and 9 as the ball rests around the 17 of Eastmont. 3 receivers wide to the right. Looks like the rain is still falling here at Wildcat Stadium. Tailback behind Woodard is Charlton. See if he goes to the air here. He will. Throws right. The ball caught. And then getting away from a man and getting into the end zone with a touchdown for Richland is Brody Bosick. The freshman comes through with his 7th touchdown reception of the season.
Boy, he just doesn't look like a freshman out there, that's for sure. Only 150 pounds, but knows how to run a route and then what to do with the football after you catch it. Nice 17-yard touchdown play.
Now the extra point. Now it's been an adventuresome season, and especially last week they had several that were some missed snaps for Richland. So Eastmont had that problem on their first extra point. Let's see what happens here with a wet ball tonight. Good snap, good hold. The kick is good, and Richland will take the lead 7-6 with 4:40 to go here in the first quarter. You're watching playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary seller's assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
Short kickoff after the touchdown as Eastmont collects it at the 20, 25, 30, out to the 35 and near the 39-yard line. Good return there for Peyton Guest for the Wildcats. as Eastmont will have decent field position to start their second drive. By the way, the drive, 11 plays, 61 yards, the 17-yard pass from Woodard to Bosick. Extra point makes it a 7-6 Richland lead with 4:40 to go here in this first quarter.
I got to say, Eric, both offenses made their drives look easy against the opposing defenses here in this first drive in this first quarter.
Well, Eastmont put up 37 points last week. Richland put up 44 points. Motion man is Kobe King, and we got the defense jumping in the neutral zone. I think this is going to be a penalty against Richland, their first penalty here of the ball game. Officials will get together and talk about it, however. Luke Stanfield, number 25 for Richland, looked like he jumped across, but was he drawn? That is the question. The officials after the meeting will say dead ball, offsides, defense. So the first penalty of the ball game against Richland goes for 5 yards, and well, you got to love that if you're an offense and you're an offensive coordinator like Michael Dunn. That kind of opens up the playbook for a first down and 5 play.
This is a perfect time to do it right here. If you're going to ever go deep or try to go deep, do it right now. Good part of the field to do it too, Eric.
44-yard line is where they put the ball after the 5-yard march off. So let's see if Luke Gale sticks to the ground or goes to the air heel. He'll send King in motion, hand off Peterson up the middle. Peterson has a first down into Richland territory, ahead to the 47-yard line.
Gosh, he just makes it look so easy sometimes, doesn't he? Just kind of glides through that line of scrimmage. Great blocking once again by the Eastmont front.
Andrew Swan getting in there on a lead block along with Gabriel Arizmendi. The guard-center combo there as the ball will be at the Richland 47. So Eastmont quickly into Bomber territory on their second possession of the ball game. Could be a track meet here tonight,
kidding.
Grant. Again, King in motion. Fake the handoff to him. Handoff Peterson inside. Peterson spinning off of a man. Still getting ahead to about, the 42 before he's finally driven back by the Bombers. As it was Stanfield and company that finally stood him up, but not before Gunnar Peterson gets 5 yards.
He's only 5'8", 173 pounds, but he plays like he's about 210 out there, doesn't he? He just never stops those legs from moving, and that's key if you're a running back, and Peterson does it so well.
Well, it's also key for that offensive line to keep leaning on those guys in white jerseys out there.
Absolutely.
Second down and 5 from the Richland 42 for the Wildcats. Luke Gale under center again. Turn, fakes the handoff, and then finally does hand it off. But, it's a jailbreak in the backfield. Loss on the play back to the 44. Couple of yard losses. I think it was Landon Moore who had the ball, and nothing happening around the left side. That took a little too long to get going there, Grant.
And it gave those linebackers a time to fill, and that's so important against this wing T offense, filling those gaps, and they had time to do it there.
We ran kind of a modified wing T when I was in high school, and the teams that did, they tackle everybody. That's how you go against an option team that runs a wing T like that. You just, anybody who could possibly have the ball, you tackle them.
Yeah, that's good. That's the way to do it.
Third down from the 44-yard line. 3rd and 7 here for the Wildcats. And now we're going to get a timeout taken for Michael Dunn. He does not like what he sees as he goes marching out onto the field and has a few choice words for his offense here. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Abby's Pizza. For more than 50 years, Abby's has proudly served the Northwest with toppings to the edge, 100% real cheese, and freshly rolled dough. Make it an Abby's Pizza night tonight. Also by BioSports Physical Therapy. Find them online at biosports.net. Open Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Never a good sign for the offense when Coach Don walks out there with purpose. And he is letting them have it right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was marching like somebody trying to return soup at a kitchen that they didn't found the fly in there. He was not happy at all. So it'll be 3rd down and long here for the Wildcats. And, of course, their offense, the key to it, the straw that stirs the drink is those 5 guys up front. You got to have blocking. You got to have everybody in sync, or else it ain't happening.
All right, it's timing in that wing T.
So here we go, 3rd down and 7 after the timeout. First of the half used by the Wildcats. Motion man is King. Handoff up the middle. Peterson, he dances away from one man, gets inside the 40 to about the 38. He's going to be short of the first down, though. Now decision time for the Wildcats.
Boy, at the 39-yard line,
Gain of 5 yards for Peterson.
I think I'm going for it here,
And
Eric.
looks like they're keeping the offense out there. As Luke Gale gets the sign from his...
When you run the ball like Eastmont does, you almost have to go at 4th and 2 on the opponent's 39.
They average so many yards, 8.6 yards per carry on the ground.
Wow.
So you got to have faith in that. 4th down along 1. They fake the handoff again to King. Handoff Peterson. He's got the first down and more. Hangs onto the football as a bomber trying to grab a hold of it as he was spinning down to the ground. He hangs the first
12, Eric. That's just exactly what Eastmont needed. And as you said, a big average on the season. And, boy, they pulled it off there.
Yeah, it looked like it was Torrin Belliston who tackled the football. Well, then he got help from his teammates. And I'll tell you what, Peterson did a great job holding on to that football on a slick night. So 1st down and 10. The ball is sitting at the 27 of Richland. And we're quickly running out of first quarter here. Minute 27 to go. Clock running. Motion man is Moore. Back to pass. Gale gets away from pressure. Now he's going to have to run for it. Still keeps his eyes upfield. Now running for it inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. And I'll tell you what, Luke Gale is not a guy who carries about. In fact, his average is minus 3.7 yards on the season, but he was able to stay alive and get positive yardage down to the 18.
He got 8 yards on that carry. That's nothing too shabby for a quarterback that doesn't run all that much, and now it makes a manageable 2nd down.
Yeah, coming into the game, Gale had 14 carries for minus 53 yards.
Oh, boy.
So he still has a long way to go to get positive on the season. Chase Travado splits out wide to the right here on a 2nd and short. And that opens up the playbook too, doesn't it?
It does.
Motion man is king. Turn, handoff. Peterson just stutter steps, gets a first down inside the 15, down to the 12-yard line.
Boy, he just makes it look so easy. 7 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, and it's 12. And if you're not careful, it's 40. He's just an amazing running back.
And just patient.
Right.
Just patient. Just waits for that block to develop.
Absolutely.
Hides behind his big offensive line as he's only 5'8" and 173 pounds. But is able to get a big first down there. They'll restart the clock here. We're going to get one more play in before the end of the quarter. Adrian Ruffins is out of the lineup right now. He is not in there. I thought that was him on the left, but no. Handoff will go left side to Austin Ruffins, and Ruffins will take it to about the 5. Kind of a repeat of what they did last time down the field. 2nd down coming up from the 5-yard line. He goes out of bounds with 8 seconds left in the quarter.
Wildcats have the ball inside the 10 near the 5-yard line. 2nd and 3. Wildcats.
Well, you can check me on whether that was Adrian Ruffins or not. Adrian wears number 4.
It looked like Austin. It really did.
There's an 18 that's in the game. Well, that's Jackson West. He's wide to the left here. On a 2nd down from the 5. Handoff.
Broken play.
Excuse me. It's Gale that keeps it. And he'll lose yardage on that one back to about the 9. Loss of 4 yards on the play, and that'll be the final play of the first quarter. Well, an entertaining one so far. 7-6 our score. We will head to the second. You're watching playoff football here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Well, Gunnar Peterson had a 5-yard touchdown run for the Wildcats. The extra point was wide left. And then a 17-yard pass touchdown from Woodard to Bosick. The extra point was good. 7-6 our score as we head to the second quarter. Only 3 possessions in that first quarter, Grant, and Eastmont continuing that their second possession of the game here to start the second quarter.
And speaking of Gunnar Peterson, Eric, 65 yards and a touchdown in that first quarter for Peterson.
Not bad. Not bad at all. So the officials took a little extra time to have a conversation while they were huddled over the ball at the 9-yard line after the loss on that last play. Luke Gale came to the sideline, and Coach Don grabbed him and said, hey, we got to get it figured out here. Handoff is to Colby King. Colby King has stood up as he tried to get around the corner, and not much happening there. And a good play defensively for Richland coming up with Zach Rose on the stop.
Actually gave him a yard, and I think he's pretty lucky to even get that yard. Going to have to try a field goal now.
They'll put him at the 6. So 4th down coming up after the 3-yard gain for Colby King. And now they had issues with the snap on the first try of an extra point. And so they'll try again here as Luke Gale, I believe, is the long snapper here for Eastmont. Grayson Schneider is the holder, and Edgar Leon the kicker. They'll put it down at the 13, 23-yard kick. Again, the snap was a little off, but this kick is right through the uprights and good. We will keep it here after the field goal by Eastmont in our second lead change as the Wildcats now lead at 9-7 as we're underway here in this second quarter of play. Our broadcast brought to you in part by Confluence Health, high-quality care close to home. Confluence Health dedicated to improving their patients' health with safe, high-quality care in 12 communities. Also by Coldwell Banker Cascade, encouraging you to leave your mark. Coldwell Banker Cascade is guiding you home in North Central Washington. Well, what do you think about this? I mean, 2 possessions for Eastmont, they got 9 points. 1 possession for Richland, they got 7 points. I mean, so far, defenses are not part of this game right now.
They're not, but it makes you wonder, is a field goal enough against a high-powered offense like Richland that scored, like you mentioned, Eric, 44 points last week? We'll have to see if field goals are going to get it done, but in that case, they didn't have much choice. But I think tonight it's going to be touchdowns for both teams.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, the drive stalled at the 6-yard line. So that is, 44, 50, 56 yards on the drive before it stalled. And the field goal from 23 yards out by Leon. He has it teed up at the 40. And again, got to watch these returns here. Leon had to make the tackle on the last return. He'll go short this time around. It'll be taken by the up man Schuster. Now, he's speedy, but Eastmont good coverage downfield, and they'll take him out of bounds at about the 30-yard line.
That was a smart kick. Yep. It really was. Just keep it out of their hands, and you take that out of the equation.
Well, and I was at practice yesterday, and they were doing that because they know that when you've got talented guys that can return that football, you kick it away from them when
Absolutely.
You can. So first down for the Bombers, and they'll put the ball at the 30-yard line. So we'll see what Josh Woodard and company had a chance. They had quite a while to sit over on the sidelines here, as Eastmont ran about 5 minutes off the clock in their second possession of the game, ending in a 23-yard field goal. So 9-7 our score, Eastmont on top. Here comes Woodard. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Handoff. Dive play. Charlton got past the first wave and gets it ahead to about the 34-yard line before he's taken down. Coming up on the stop for Eastmont was Graydon Schneider.
Saw that from his safety position and just snuck up to the line of scrimmage and made that play. Such a great football player.
Graydon, 5'11", 168-pound junior. And quickly back to the scrimmage here on a 2nd down and 6 is the Bombers. Snap back, look right, throw right. The ball thrown high and then incomplete. Now, I don't know if that was a wetness issue or if it just flew a little bit on Woodard as he was trying to connect with Seth Shook. And incomplete brings up 3rd down.
It looked like it might have been. It's a little bit slick that time. He's been so consistent with his passes up until this point, but just a little bit high there.
I see the umpire does have a towel hanging from his front. He's the guy that spots the ball down, so he's the one responsible and trying to make sure the ball is as dry as possible. But it is a wet night no matter what here tonight. 3rd down and 6. Woodard back, looks left, has pressure, throws. The ball caught as the defender fell down, and up near the 50-yard line is the receiver who came up with the ball, and this time the catch made by Tanner Schuster. They'll put him down at the Eastmont 48-yard line, a gain of 18 yards.
Just such a pure passer, Woodard, isn't he? He doesn't really panic back there. He takes his time and then just throws a strike.
Now, that's the first time tonight, Grant, I've seen somebody slip on the surface. As Peyton Guest was in coverage,
right.
The break was made about the midfield point, and that's where Guest fell down. First down and 10. Option play right. Woodard wants to keep it, and then he is hit hard inside the 45 at about the 43-yard line. Goodness gracious, who put the belt on him there? Was that Kellen Leonard, I think, got him.
It was.
And it'll be a second down play. He did get decent yardage, about 5 yards on the play. They'll put him down at the 43, so yeah, a 5-yard gain, but boy, he paid for that one.
Whew.
Woodard will think about that on the option next time. Second down, handoff Charlton right up the middle again as that offensive line tries to push. And boy, he's bent back awkwardly as coming up and putting the stick on him here for the Wildcats defensively that time was Josh Leonhardt.
2-yard gain is all there. Brings up big 3rd down and 3 here, Eric.
I ran into Josh's neighbor at the local auto parts store. He says, God, I love watching you guys. The wife and I were home watching and loved the conversation and stuff, but it's Leonhardt. I need to get you to get the name right. So I said, I'll do that. 3rd down coming up here from the 41 of the Wildcats. Back to pass, Woodard rolling to his right. He's got room to run it if he wants. He throws it, the ball caught, and it will be a first down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line as he makes the connection with Seth Shook. That's the first time Woodard has hit Shook here in a ball game.
4th different receiver now that he's completed a pass to. And boy, what time he's had there. You mentioned it, Eric. He could have run that for a first down easily around that right side.
12 yards on the pass play, puts the ball at the 29 of Eastmont. Richland driving here, their second possession of the game. Handoff, and here is a play in the backfield. Dragging a man was the ball carrier Charlton. He maybe got it back to the line of scrimmage. Great job for Eastmont. Shooting the gap in there and getting in on the tackle, I think was Schneider, wasn't it?
I think it was too. I think Prazer was in on that too.
Second down, and they'll be nice and say got back to the line of scrimmage. So no gain for Landon Charlton on that carry. Senior is joined by Stewart in the backfield here on a 2nd down and 10. Jumbo formation here for Woodard. He'll turn, hand it to Kaylani Stewart. Got through one man, got through two. Still on the drive. Inside the 10, down to the 8-yard line. Kaylani Stewart just packing bodies as he goes.
21 yards, and that was pure power that time. He broke a couple of tackles, one at the line of scrimmage, one about linebacker position, and then that 20-yard gain.
Just a little counter play in the middle, and Stewart packed the rock to the 9. First down and goal here for Richland, trying to answer the field goal by Eastmont. Turn, handoff, right side is Charlton. Charlton bumps off a one man and still keeps his legs driving. And Grant, I'll tell you what, we see this from Eastmont all the time. We're seeing it now in a team in the opposite color as they continue to drive those legs.
Absolutely. And Eric, you called this at the beginning of the game, that jumbo backfield. They have run it every single time that they've had that full house backfield. So maybe Eastmont can catch on to that here throughout this game, huh? But you know what? If you're getting blocked, there's not much you can do about it.
Exactly. Andrew Swan comes in on the defensive line here to try to help make a difference on this second down play. They'll put the ball at about the 6-yard line. Second down and goal. Snap is back to Woodard. Going to throw this time. Maybe trying to set up a screen. He's got pressure, throws, and behind the intended receiver. A flag comes down late. I think that Richland had an illegal man downfield.
I think that's what that was, Eric. Absolutely.
I believe they were trying to set up a screen pass there, but Eastmont sniffed it out. And the flag flies, and now they're going to wave that flag off. So it'll be a third down play coming up from the 7 on the incomplete pass. 7:27 to go here in a quick-moving first half. We thought this was going to be pass versus the run. No. Two teams that are running the football here so far. Third down and goal coming up from just outside the 6 for the Bombers. And Woodard will readjust his wide receivers wide to his left. Eastmont points out what they think might happen here. Turn, handoff, Stewart, right side. Stewart trying to get to the end zone. He will get down to the 1. And a flag comes down late here, and this could be a hold, and it could be coming back. It is a hold, and it is against Richland. Back it up.
Boy, that's a big penalty right there. Some breathing room for the Eastmont defense now.
Boy, that is huge. 10-yard penalty.
It is.
So they'll take it back from the point of the foul, which was at about the 3-yard line. So out to the 13 it will go. How about that? So 3rd down and goal from the 13 now.
This is a big play right here.
Oh, huge. Eastmont got a field goal from 23 yards out in its last possession. They lead it 9-7 here, but Richland trying to take that lead back. 3rd down and goal from the 13. Woodard wants to roll to his left, throws with the right hand down the middle. The ball caught at the 1, and then into the end zone goes the receiver. And is that freshman again? It is. Bosick on the touchdown.
2nd touchdown of the game for the young freshman. And nice patience once again by Woodard. Didn't have his original receiver and then found Bosick as kind of an alternate receiver out there.
Oh, hang on. That one's coming back. There's a flag in the backfield I didn't see. It's a hold against the offense. Back it up again.
Oh, boy. Forget what I just said, Eric.
Wow.
Didn't see the flag.
I didn't see it either. And so the penalty flag comes down, and it'll be 3rd down over again. And they will go from the spot of the foul, which was at the 19. Are you serious? Now, meanwhile, Mike Ninehold, head coach for Richland, beside himself over on the far sideline. Our officials, by the way, Dennis Brandstetter is the referee. Terry Aiton's our umpire. Mike Wold, the linesman. Kirk Lyons, the line judge. And Rob Tidd is our back judge.
Gosh, what a big call that is. Not only you take points off the board, you now facing a 3rd down and 29.
Huge. So let's see here. They haven't marked off the penalty yet. Or did they?
From the...
Well, it was at the 13 before. So now, I'm okay, I guess about a 5-yard penalty there. So it's at the 18 now on a 3rd down and goal from there. Woodard, he's going to try it again. Has some pressure, steps up in the pocket to the left, now throws the ball tipped up in the air. The ball is intercepted by Eastmont. The Wildcats have it.
I think it's Fraser, isn't it?
Flag comes down late after the play, and the ball is intercepted for the Wildcats. As coming up with the football, I think you're right. I think it's Fraser.
May have been Kellen Leonard. Thought I saw a 6. Might have been 16, Eric. Is this players on
No, that's Fraser, 92.
Okay.
92 with the interception. Meanwhile, Richland was trying to grab at the football after the interception was made. And so the penalty, I believe, is a dead ball foul against the Bombers. Let's see.
No, it's against Eastmont.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It looked like they had too many players celebrating out there after that interception.
Came off the bench to celebrate.
Right.
Oh, my. So that's going to be a half the distance penalty. So Eastmont will maintain possession with 7:06 to go, and our first turnover of the ball game is giant at this juncture.
Boy, you'd see, this is the type of game that any stop that the defense makes is going to be big in this game, it seems, doesn't it?
So it ends what looked like a touchdown from the 13-yard line, penalty, move it back, and then the tip ball and the interception. First down for Eastmont from its own 11-yard line. How about this? Wildcats maintain the lead here at 9-7. Gale, handoff, Peterson, up the middle, dive play across the 15, out to the 18-yard line, a gain of 7 yards on first down.
The Wildcats on offense, Eric, are winning the line of scrimmage right now. I'll tell you, just blowing holes open. That was an easy run for Peterson. Didn't even have to wait. He saw the hole and just made it.
Huge play defensively for the Wildcats. Now can Eastmont capitalize? As they have it with 6:37 to go here in the first half, leading at 9-7. Handoff again. Peterson gets away from one man, spins his way across to the yardage to gain for the first down. They're going to give his forward momentum out to about the 24-yard line. So a gain of 6 yards and a first down.
Keep the clock moving and keep moving that football down the field. As you mentioned, very quick first half.
Coach Don is certainly shuttling in players as Austin Ruffins comes out. Kobe King is in there. Looks like Landon Moore came in as well. Motion man, handoff. Second man through is Peterson, and he stood up after a short gain this time out to the 25.
Well, linebacker, she shot the gap that time, Eric, on that wing tee. And if you fill those spots, you can probably make a play, and they did it nicely, the defense for Richland that time.
Kaylani Stewart, we talked about him on the offensive side. He makes his first big play here defensively. Yard gain is all. Second down and 9 here for the Wildcats. Motion man is King. He'll spread back over to his wingback position on the left here. And go in motion again. They fake the handoff to him. Handoff Peterson, and he has maybe 2-3 yards before he's stacked up.
Well, Eric, you'd think that when those linebackers keep playing up to the line like that, some could be open over the middle. I mean, there's nothing there then. The linebackers are trying to play the run.
Gain was out to the 28, brings up third down, about 6 yards here for Eastmont.
Let's go, boys!
Adrian Ruffins is the guy you want to look at. Boy, he's got a height advantage on the man covering him
really
here.
Does.
And they're going to look that way. Throw out the flat, the ball thrown behind. Luke Gale had plenty of time and just threw it behind Adrian Ruffins, and it will fall incomplete, brings up fourth down.
Not a good pass that time by Gale. He had time to throw that. I think he had a little more time than he thought he did there.
And I don't think that was a slick ball situation.
No.
I think he just didn't make the connection. So fourth down here for the Wildcats. And it will be Edgar Leon to come in and punt the ball away. Our first punt of the ball game will come here with 5 minutes even left. And it's unusual, Grant. You see two punt returners back at equal distance here for Richland. You don't see that hardly at all. As Landon Charlton and Seth Shook are back to receive the punt, a line drive punt will take an Eastmont bounce. Everybody gets away from it, and that turns out to be a darn good punt. It's down to at the 38-yard line.
Well, after both offenses looked like they were going to make this a track meet, the defenses have come through now and held, and now we're staying at 9-7. And could this turn into a defensive game now? It's just been one of those weird kind of swings in this game.
Well, it's two prize fighters going at it toe-to-toe here and kind of feeling each other out. Eastmont
you feel like something big is going to break here, don't you? I don't know what team, but you just got that feeling.
It's like one person falling down. First down and 10 here for Richland at their own 38-yard line. Turn, handoff, and a dive play right side. Got away from a man, and there's that big play we talked about, Grant. Taking the ball ahead was that 24 on the carry there? Gutierrez on the carry here for Richland. And we haven't seen him at all, really, all season long. But David Gutierrez, a 5'8", 170-pound sophomore, gets a big gain for the Bombers to the Eastmont 42,
about
41
22 yards there, I think, Eric.
Again, getting away from the initial tackler are the Bombers here tonight. They'll turn and hand it off again. It's Gutierrez. He dances back to his right. And then is tackled down by the Wildcats.
Gets about 4 there.
Looked like Leonard got a hold of him and brought him down. These are the alternate jersey tops for Eastmont. And sorry, but I'm having a heck of a time reading those numbers out there. So it'll be second down for the Bombers from the Eastmont 38. Gain of 3 yards on that play. High snap, handoff, Gutierrez running right, and then buried at about the 35-yard line. Oh, my. Kalunga on the tackle, and, boy, he made that running back pay for those few yards there. 3 yards on the running play. Third down and 3 here for the Bombers. Make it 4 yards. 3rd and 4. Two receivers left here for Woodard. Wipes his hands off on his pants. And the left tackle or the left tight end left early. That's going to be 5 yards backwards here for the Bombers.
Helps the situation for the Eastmont defense a bit, that's for sure. Instead of 3rd and 4, 3rd and 9 now.
Here we go, defense! Against the Bombers, take the ball back to near the 40-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 9.
Second quarter winding down here. 3:17 to go in the half. Eastmont up by 2, 9-7. All the points, well, 7, let's see, it was 7-6 at the end of the first quarter. 9-7 here in the second. Pressure, and down goes Woodard. He gets the ball out in the flat. The ball caught, and then the ball stripped away from the receiver, goes out of bounds. The ball was collected here on the near side by Mackey. And what a crush by two defenders right in Woodard's lap. But they do get the penalty yardage back and then some. Going to bring up a 4th down at the 39.
About 7 on that play. And boy, is this a big 4th down play right here. 4th and 3. As you mentioned, Eric, time running down here in this second quarter.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down. I mentioned the 39. It's the 34-yard line. Well, the ball sits. 2 receivers right, and that jumbo package in the backfield. Eastmont bringing 5 guys on the line of scrimmage. Snap back to Woodard. Handoff left side, and getting the 1st down and more is Charlton as he's caught by the shoulder and slung out of bounds, and saving the touchdown for the Wildcats was Graydon Schneider. A 1st down here for Richland all the way to the 19-yard line.
Nice 20-yard run for Landon Charlton that time, and a good tackle by Snyder. That was 6 points right there.
Actually, about a 9-yard.
Oh, was
carry.
it 9?
Yeah, to the 19 from the 34. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, 11, 12 yards, something like that. So 15 yards down to the 19. So don't let the Cedar Woolley math fool you there. Bunch formation again in the backfield. They'll turn and hand it off again, and this is a big running back again. And their Stewart is down at the 10-yard line, and Richland just flexing its muscle up front on the offensive line.
Great blocking inside once again, and the guard in there, number 62, Ethan Potter, really laid a block on the linebacker for Eastmont that allowed that run to happen.
You got Stewart, number 31, and Charlton, number 11, and that number combination is working well here for the Bombers. A hefty snap, and then right immediately in the backfield is Prazer, and he takes the running back down at the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of a yard as he slung him down to the ground. It'll bring up 3rd down.
I think Prazer's one of the best defenders in the Big Nine from what I've seen this year. Yeah. He's just such a solid force out there, not only rushing the passer, but great against the run, too.
So a gain of a yard brings up a 3rd down play here for Richland. Now, last time they had the ball down in this stretch of the field, they marched themselves backwards on a couple of crucial penalties. And what looked like a go-ahead touchdown. Let's see. 3rd down, about a yard to go. Woodard gets the snap, turns, hands off Charlton, right side. Charlton has the 1st down. I don't see any laundry coming out here at the end of the play, so it will stand. And a new set of downs here for the Bombers. They'll put the ball down at the 8, so a gain of about 2 yards. No, it's at 7. So a gain of 3 yards on that running play for Charlton. It's been Charlton, it's been Stewart, and Woodard did a little option running as well here in this first half as the clock continues to wind down here. 1:20 to go. Richland trying to retake the lead here. 1st down and goal, and a delayed handoff. Beautiful play call. Charlton gets it, but Eastmont right there to stack him up at the line of scrimmage. Schneider there for Eastmont, also getting in on the stop for the Wildcats. Josh Leonhard, man on the spots.
No gain that time. Great job by Eastmont. They weren't fooled, and that was a really well-done delayed handoff there, well executed by Woodard.
Get him thinking pass, and then just that delay, as it will be Stewart in the backfield here behind Woodard, with 3 receivers to the wide side left on this 2nd down and goal. Rolling to his left, right-handed quarterback throws in the flat ball, caught at the 5, and then pushed out of bounds is the receiver, as it was Seth Shook who came up with the football. They'll put him down at the 3-yard line. 4 yards on the pass play from Woodard to Shook. About the 3rd time they've made that connection here in the ball game. Shook will split out to the far side of the field along with Schuster out there. And also out there is Brody Bosick. Watch for number 9 in the back of the end zone. 3rd down and goal from the 3. Woodard option left. Got through one man, leaning towards the end zone. He's going to be down at the 1-yard line.
Wow.
Oh, that was close. Timeout going to be taken here, I believe, on the field with 29 seconds left, as Richland's going to talk it over about what they want to do on a 4th down and about a half a yard to go. How about this?
Well, neither team has really struggled with short yardage tonight, so But boy, a stop for Eastmont would mean everything right before halftime.
Richland basically have stopped themselves here in the game. Eastmont really hasn't stopped them on their 3 drives in this ball game. Interception by Praiser ended the last drive after a couple of penalties in a row.
Well, the surprise, I think, Eric, is the running game of Richland here. Only 9 pass attempts by Woodard here in this first half, and I think neither one of us would have predicted that.
No, definitely not. But, hey, you'd have got a wet track and a wet, cold night, and you know those hands are going to be a little chilly. So if you think you've got the offensive line to do it, why not?
Just so fortunate that this wind hasn't come up like predicted tonight. I think it still will later tonight. But
yeah, the flag in the end zone here is absolutely limp right now.
Let's go defense!
So 4th down and goal. Can the Wildcats make the stop? Can the Bombers find the end zone? We shall see after the timeout by Richland. Each team with 2 timeouts left here in the half. Shook came in and now will come out. And that had they huddled, it would have been 12-man in the huddle. Woodard has the jumbo set in the backfield. They'll turn and hand it. No, Woodard keeps it, dives into the end zone. Touchdown.
Great call.
Stewart took a step before the snap, but his step was sideways. Had that step gone forward, that would have been a procedure call against Richland. But no, a 1-yard touchdown run for Woodard, his 3rd touchdown rushing on the season.
Another good fake by Woodard, too. I thought Stewart actually had the ball there, and Eastmont made a good play on him. But no, he kept it and walked in from a yard out.
So the touchdown comes with 24 seconds left on the clock here in the half. And now it will be Jason Slack who will try to tack on the extra point. Colby Whitby is the holder. Snap was low, the kick away, and it is good. We'll take a 60-second break and come back. With 24 ticks left in the half, Richland retakes the lead, 14-9 over Eastmont. It's playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Off again, short, taken by the up man for Eastmont, and he will be out to about the 29-yard line. And that's where the Wildcats will have it after the drive by Richland. Impressive 13 plays, 62 yards, 4 minutes and 27 seconds off the clock. The 1-yard touchdown run for Woodard. Extra point makes it a 14-9 ball game as we have just a few ticks left here in the first half.
Been a good one, Eric, just kind of like we thought, but it's a little lower scoring than I think we thought, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the way it started out here, with both teams just kind of going up and down the field, but it's been on the ground. Not surprised for Eastmont that it's been on the ground,
right.
But the big surprise, as you mentioned, Grant, is Richland's ability to run the football. So let's see if Eastmont is conservative here and just tries to maybe pop one with the running back. On 1st down and 10 from their own 30-yard line, a handoff is Colby King, and he is absolutely pummeled by the defender, Zach Rose. Holy cow, tattooed at the 32.
Wow.
It was just as he was trying to make a cut, so he was kind of trying to slide a little to his left when the defender came up and popped him. And that'll be the final play of our first half. And what a half it has been. 14-9 the score, Richland on top of Eastmont. The winner goes on to the state tournament. The loser's season is done. We'll take a break and come back. 2 minutes on the broadcast. Thanks for watching us tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE Channel.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE Channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. We can use this one.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
14-9 our score here at halftime, with the Richland Bombers leading the Eastmont Wildcats in an interesting first half that did not unfold the way we thought it might. Eastmont came out with the opening drive of the ballgame, took the kickoff from its own 27-yard line and marched right down the field on a 7-play, 73-yard drive as Gunnar Peterson took it in from 5 yards out. The extra point, however, a little bad snap and wide left on the kick, made it 6-0 Eastmont with 8:46 to go in that first quarter of play. Richland takes the ball from its own 39 on the ensuing kickoff, and they would run mostly. They threw a little bit on that first drive, and it would be a pass from Josh Woodard to Bosick, the freshman, on the reception from 17 yards out to cap an 11-play, 61-yard drive, eating 3 minutes and 59 seconds off the clock. And with 4:40 to go in the first quarter, we had a first lead change at 7-6. Well, it wouldn't be long before Eastmont would take the lead back on a drive that would go all the way down to the 9-yard line, but actually to the 6 on a fourth down. They choose to kick it after the 12-play, 56-yard drive, eating 5 minutes off the clock. The field goal good from 23 yards out made it a 9-7 ball game with 11-11 left in the first half of play. Richland gets the ball back. Again, they drive right down the field and get to the 7-yard line, but then start going backwards on a couple of penalties. And on a third down play from the 18 of the Wildcats, ball tipped up in the air and intercepted by Prazer here for the Wildcat defense, as it was Connor that came up with the ball. And that would turn aside the drive here for the Bombers. But Eastmont really couldn't do much with it offensively on its third possession of the first half, as they'd end up punting the ball away. A 40-yard punt would give Richland the ball back with 4:51 to go in the first half at its own 38-yard line. They would again put together a nice drive, 13 plays, 62 yards, and Josh Woodard took it in on a nice option that he kept it around the left side and takes it in from a yard out to capitalize on the drive. 4 minutes, 27 seconds off the clock on the drive. The extra point made it a 14-9 ball game with just 24 seconds left in the half. Eastmont would run one play to end the half, and that would be the end of it. 14-9 our score here as the teams are in the locker room at the break. We will take another break here on the broadcast and get you back with some numbers of this first half. And again, the ground game for Richland has been very impressive in this one. We'll talk about that as we continue. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, providing heating and air conditioning service and installation since 1982. Serving residential and commercial, they specialize in indoor air quality installation, service, and repair. We're back with more here from Wildcat Stadium next on the NCWLIFE Channel. The NCWLIFE Channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCWLIFE Channel today.
Hi, my car's making a funny noise.
Not a problem. We'll take care of you.
Global Car Care's technicians are ASE Master Techs and well-versed in the more refined methods of vehicular diagnostics.
Number 3 piston and rings have a slight loss of compression, down to 108 pounds. Your transmission is slipping. You're gonna need a service.
Looks like you all set.
These guys? They're good.
Oh, and your spare is flat.
Global Car Care, Wenatchee's top shop.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary seller's assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
14-9 score here at halftime between Richland and Eastmont in this playoff game. Winner going to state, loser season is done. It was 7-6 at the end of the first quarter. Eastmont had a lead. We've had, 2 lead changes here in this game, with Eastmont taking the opening drive for a touchdown. Richland bounced back and scored a touchdown to take a 7-6 lead. Eastmont kicked a 23-yard field goal to take a 9-7 lead. And then Richland, before the half, took a big touchdown drive, and they lead it here 14-9 at halftime. Grant Olson, I think we're both a little shocked here about how well that Richland is running the football.
In fact, they actually outrushed Eastmont in that first half.
And that hasn't happened, I don't think, all season
long.
No,
I don't think it has either. Kalani Stewart, 6 carries, 46 yards. Landon Charlton, he has 11 carries. He's been the workhorse that first half, 45 yards. The quarterback, 3 carries, 9 yards for Woodard. And then off the bench, Jacob Brannon, 3 carries, 29 yards. And boy, that helped them out a ton, a total of 129 rushing yards in that first half. Meanwhile, through the air, Josh Woodard, 6 of 8, 62 yards and a touchdown. Also a touchdown for Woodard on the ground in that first half. Receiving-wise, leading receiver, Bosick has 17 yards, as well as Schuster. Tanner Schuster with 17, and that's about it through the air. 62 yards through the air for Woodard in that first half, a total of 191 yards for Richland.
And just enough. I mean, just enough. Ball control. It's a slippery night. It's raining. It's cold. The hands are cold. And that's, the sign of a longtime coach here in state football here in Eastern Washington.
Not his first rodeo playing in this weather.
Yeah, he's got a perfect game plan so far in that first half of play. Yep. Meanwhile, for Eastmont, what did they do in the first half?
I'll bet it's been all Gunnar Peterson. 11 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown in that first half. Also 3 carries, 26 yards for Austin Ruffins. Colby King has been kind of quiet in that first half. Only touched the ball 3 times, 12 yards. 2 carries for a yard for Landon Moore, and Luke Gale, 2 carries for 4 yards, 123 yards on the ground for Eastmont. So Richland outrushed them by 6 yards in that first half. Through the air, 1 for 2 for Luke Gale for 24 yards. Jace Travato with that reception. Eastmont total 147 yards. So 44 yards separate these teams. Total yards at halftime. Eric, we said they were evenly matched. We saw it on paper, and boy, it's bearing out here.
Definitely. So Eastmont will get Richland will get the football to start our second half. So we'll see. It was a Richland interception on a 3rd and long. It was a 3rd and goal, I think, from the 18-yard line. Ball tipped in the air off of Woodard, and Frazier came up with the football and the interception. I'm surprised we haven't seen the ball on the field, really, in that first half.
These teams have done an outstanding job, or maybe the officials have, keeping this ball dry, or maybe a little bit of both. But, yeah, you're right. I haven't seen a lot of slipping out there, maybe 2 or 3 times where it's usually a defensive back in a back, pedal slipping a little bit. But the field is in great shape, and the players have done a great job.
Well, we just had our line producer, Dan Kuntz, come in the booth here, and we asked him if it's still raining out there. He says very lightly, and so far that wind that is forecast to, 40-mile-an-hour gusts tonight has not materialized here in Wenatchee tonight. So it's boding well for both teams, really. In this
it looks like if we see wind, it'll be late in this game. Then it's going to be 15 to 20 miles an hour. Our real wind's going to come, it looks like, after midnight now.
So it's a Friday night football night. There's also college football happening where Oregon State is leading Washington in the first half over in Seattle 7-0.
And driving in Washington territory late in this first quarter.
Okay, so 24th ranked Oregon State Beavers leading the Dogs over in Huskyville. Cougars are on the road at Stanford coming up tomorrow. Big game for them. Idaho is hosting Eastern Washington. Central Washington's on the road down in California, I believe, for
playing a tough team
tomorrow.
Too.
Yeah, second-ranked team in that level of football. So interesting weekend of football on hand and an interesting second half. And we'll see what kind of adjustments the coaches make as we get ready for second half action. Again, our score through first half is Richland on top, 14-9. Our broadcast here brought to you in part by Global Car Care. ASC certified technicians will take good care of your vehicle. Whether you need general maintenance or have a European specialty car, you can count on Global to keep you on the road. Also by Highlander Golf Course and Grill. Plan your next tournament and event today. Call the Pro Shop to schedule your time on their full swing S4 widescreen golf simulators at 509-884-4653. I think our golf season is done, so we're going to have to go inside and play on the 3D thing.
I think we need to do that, don't you?
Yeah, definitely so.
Break something.
All right, we'll take a break and come back as we get ready for second half action. Richland on top of Eastmont, 14-9. You're watching playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So it's right here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the Diagnostic Doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
14-9 our score as we get ready for second half action. Both teams are emerging from the locker rooms and going to warm up here. The officials will put another few minutes on the clock as our score is Richland on top of Eastmont 14-9 in this winter to state matchup. Got some other scores here in high school football tonight. Interesting one happening at G Prep right now. Gonzaga Prep has kind of rolled over everybody in the Greater Spokane League this year. Fourth quarter action. They lead Moses Lake, but 28-20 is the score.
Amazing.
So the Mavericks are doing pretty darn good on the road tonight.
Go Moses Lake, yeah.
Definitely so. Kamiakin, meanwhile, all over Central Valley tonight in that matchup of 3A teams. 35-13 the score in that one. That one also in the fourth quarter. And we'll see if we got any more Eastern Washington scores here. Ridgeline leading Pasco 21-0. And you talk about the Tri-City schools, and I worked down in the Tri-Cities, and Mike Neidhold and I talked about that. And back when I was on the radio at Kona Radio in the Tri-Cities, I had a chance to call a bunch of games when Lonnie Pearson was the head coach at Richland, and Mike was his defensive coordinator, and we talked about the day. And how sad it is that Pasco, after Chiawana came to be, that really stripped Pasco of their athletes.
It decimated that school. It really did. 0-7 this year in the Mid-Columbia League.
0-21 the last 3 years.
It's crazy. We were still doing the Big Nine games with all the Tri-Cities. Yeah. That was the game. Pasco was the game against Wenatchee.
I called a game for Kona back in the day when Pasco was playing for the state championship. I mean, and it's just sad to see Pasco trailing Ridgeline 21-0 in that game. See if we get any more Eastern Washington scores here. They usually, Scorebook Live doesn't do well on the Eastern Washington schools. That's about it for right now. So we'll keep you up to date on that, as well as the Huskies and the Beavers, and we'll get ready for the Bombers and the Wildcats and see what kind of adjustments. Grant, what do you think? If you're Coach Michael Don, what do you say at halftime for your players?
Well, I was just noticing that the last 5 runs, 4 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards, and 2 yards. Maybe Richland is catching on to this wing T a little bit. Maybe Eastmont needs to put the ball in the air a little bit more in this second half because, boy, those linebackers are playing up so far on that line of scrimmage. Back in the box, the middle of the field seems to be wide open. They just need to see that, give Gale some time. But if you're Richland, I don't think they're going to go to the pass. It's working. This run game is working. Why would you go away from that here in this second half?
Well, that offensive line has done a great job blocking for the Bombers in that first half of play, so it'll be interesting to see the chess match that continues between Dawn and Neidhold. We'll have the second half action coming up after this 60-second timeout on the NCWLIFE Channel.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
I believe we've been coming to Abby's for 56 years, isn't it?
Yes,
yeah.
56 years.
Remembering all the events as a family and a community that we spent at Abby's.
Excellent and delicious food at an affordable price. We're delighted that we live close enough to be able to be a frequent customer.
And we are.
And we are. In fact, we've got orders to bring home a giant pizza when we leave here tonight.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? With today's home values, this is the perfect time to sell and make those dreams real. When you work with a world-class agent at Coldwell Banker, you benefit from trusted guidance and our revolutionary Seller's Assurance program to make your home sale more rewarding than ever. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams.
Welcome back once again here to Wildcat Stadium. We get ready for second half action between Richland and Eastmont. Bombers lead the Wildcats 14-9. Just got a message here from Mickey White. Thanks, Mickey. Chiawana is up on West Valley 27-0. Also, Cashmere has defeated Colville 12-6.
Wow.
That Chiawana score, by the way, in the fourth quarter. So thanks to Mickey. Appreciate that.
Very tough football team.
Boy, tough way to end the season for Wenatchee on the road last night against U-High. 30-0. coming up short in that one. They had more.
Weather was terrible.
It was horrible. Wenatchee had more punting yards than they did offensive yards in that game.
And weren't U-High's scores all on turnovers?
One touchdown on the ground. The rest were fumble recovery, interception return, and a punt return.
Wow.
And the punt return, I'm not sure what happened there. It may have been a fungo off the side of the foot because the punt return for the touchdown was only 19 yards.
Wow.
So Wenatchee's probably backed up in their own end zone, punting the ball away.
And Sunnyside, their game is tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Against Hanford.
Sunnyside will play Hanford tomorrow. And talking with the coaches, they thought the Big Nine might do pretty well in these crossover games, especially with the state seeding on the line. So we'll see what happens. By the way, Sunday will be the seeding for the state tournament. So everybody will be watching the WIAA's website for that seeding. And so we will be watching that as well to see if Eastmont is a part of it. It may be the Richland Bombers. They played darn well here on the road.
Yeah, they have.
In that first half of play. And we appreciate everybody. By the way, we want to apologize. Jacob Brannon is number 24 for Richland. We had David Gutierrez as number 24. But Jacob Brannon, thanks to a Facebook viewer for correcting us on that. So appreciate
And to our defense, there's two 24s on the roster.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
All right, so it'll be Edgar Leon to tee it up here to start our second half as Eastmont will kick it away going right to left. You know what? And by the way, we do half our broadcast for Eastmont, half our broadcast for Wenatchee over at the Apple Bowl. Love being in that stadium, but the cameras are opposite from where we do the broadcast in the booth, and so it's always so hard to remember that. I love having the cameras on the same side of the field here. All right, so here we go. Richland ready to receive the kickoff. Landon Charlton, Seth Shook is back, and the kickoff is short. It'll be taken by the up man at the 35, and dangerous play over there, but out to the 40 is the return man for Richland.
So what's worse, Eric? You kick off to a good return man and he runs it out to the 40, or you do a squib kick or a pooch kick and they still get it to the 40. So sometimes it's a head scratcher, isn't it?
Well, we did see the first kickoff of the game to Richland go to the deep man, and he nearly broke it for a touchdown.
It was the kicker that made the tackle, yeah.
So Josh Woodard will come out and run the offense here. We'll see if Richland sticks to the ground game that was so successful in that first half of plays. They actually outgained Eastmont, leading at 14-9 to start our second half action. A little light rain still falling here at Eastmont. A handoff inside, and Charlton, big gulps of yardage inside the 50 down to about the 47-yard line on first down.
Determined running by Charlton that time, and some great blocks on the left side of that line. 13 yards on first down for Richland, now into Eastmont territory.
Well, and you mentioned it, Grant. If it's working, why change? 4 receivers in the formation, 2 right, 2 left here for Woodard, with Charlton a couple of steps behind him in the backfield. Eastmont cheating up. Here they come. Handoff to Charlton, left side this time. As he gets behind his big offensive lineman, he'll get a couple of yards. Eastmont doing a better job of sniffing that one out, as it was Kalunga again along with Frazier getting some help on the stop with Leonhard for Eastmont's second down coming up.
Boy, and the defensive back Mora almost had Charlton in the backfield. Had a foot, but just couldn't quite get him down.
Second down from the 46, we'll call it, after a 2-yard gain on first down, as Richland sticks to the ground so far. Woodard, option left, pitch back. Charlton. He's got across the 40 inside to about the 38, going to be about a yard shy of the first down. And a beautiful option play for Josh Woodard. Talking with Ninehold this week, getting ready for this football game, he said, Josh is really a basketball player at heart. He is a better basketball player maybe than he is a football player. And he said he's a definite gym rat. But when he's out here on the field, he is that basketball point guard for the offense. Third down and short here for the Bombers. Handoff, Charlton again. He slips away from one man and then pushes his way. Papile pushes ahead and going to have enough for the first down to the 37.
Offensive line again, a nice push off the ball, needed a yard and got it.
Garrett Mills, the center, David Robertson and Ethan Potter, the guards, Nathan McClellan and Bennett Lehman, the tackles. They're doing a great job up front here for the Bombers in this one. First down and 10, new set of downs from the 37. 3 receivers to the wide side right here. Do you throw to keep Eastmont Honest, and back to pass. Woodard throws out the flat, the ball caught by Shook. He's down to about the 31-yard line. Coverage downfield for Eastmont was by Nez Shoemaker, and it will be a gain of about 6-7 yards on first down. Give it a 6-yard gain to the 31 on the little pitch and catch. Again, ball control, not risking it on a wet night and a blow on your hand type of night. Second down for the Bombers. Woodard back to pass. Maybe he's going to try to go deeper. He's got a lot of room to run. There's a flag down. He throws towards the end zone. The ball is overthrown the intended receiver. So just as I said, yeah, they're going to go with ball control. He wings one towards the end zone, but flags all over the field, and this one looks like it might be coming all the way back plus 10.
Yeah, I think it's holding there. You know, Eastmont defensive line, Eric, has done a nice job. Every time Woodard is back to pass, pretty good pressure from the defensive line. They either flush him out or get some pretty good pressure with their hands up.
The officials, by the way, from the Chelan County Association, as this is an Eastmont-hosted event, and it's a little different how they did it this year with these crossover games, and it's a chop block against the offensive line. So that's a 15-yard penalty, Grant. That is huge.
Don't see that called very often.
That is the fourth penalty of the night now for 35 yards unofficially against Richland, as the penalty will mark it back all the way to the 47-yard line. So a 15-yard penalty, and that brings up second down and forever here, about 22 yards to go. As the Eastmont fans assemble below us, try to get loud. Back to pass, Woodard has pressure, throws out the flat, the ball tipped in the air again and falls incomplete. And a flag going to come down on a late hit on the quarterback, and that's going to be whistled against Kellen Leonard.
Boy, and it was unnecessary too, Eric. But you know, your momentum, you're a linebacker, you have a shot at the quarterback. It is hard to let up.
Kellen Leonard missed a bunch of the season with an ankle injury and finally came back last week here for the Wildcats, and now is going to be whistled for the flag here, and that 15 yards they just got one way will go back the other way. Third penalty and 25 yards now against Eastmont, as they'll put the ball down at the 32 after the penalty flag. And they have first down on the yard marker. I don't think it's an automatic first down. Hold on.
Second.
The officials are going to talk it over here. If that's a personal foul, that might be a first down for Richland. Yeah, that is a first down. So it will be first down after the penalty on the personal foul. A late hit on the quarterback. From the 32, here come the Bombers. Woodard with that jumbo formation. Now we're going to have another conversation here as Michael Don, the head coach for Eastmont, saying, wait a minute here, hang on, how can that be a first down? That's a first down because it's a personal foul.
Right.
Okay, so our crowd below, again, never minding the message from officials all over the place and school administrators that you got to be kind to these officials. Turn, fake the handoff, throw. They've got a flag down. The pass incomplete, and Woodard was looking that time for Bosick, and we got a flag right at the line of scrimmage, so this could be a hold against the offense.
But once again, great penetration by Leonard. It forced Woodard to throw that sidearm throw again that he didn't have down this time, but good penetration by Leonard. He's had a good game so far tonight.
The officials talking it over. This will be our third penalty in a row here, as we had kind of a penalty free or penalty less.
It's another chop
first
block.
half, and so it'll be first down over again. That's not a chop block. That signals just for a block below the waist.
Oh, block below the waist.
And how that happens is you'll have your running back, your tailback will come up, and if he's lined up in the backfield, if he's more than that 3 yards off the line of scrimmage, and he comes up and then he hits somebody down low, you can't do that. Yeah. That's a block below the waist. If you're lined up on the line of scrimmage as an offensive lineman or a tight end or something like that, and you go down and hit down low, you can because you're within that line of scrimmage zone. But if you're off the ball and come up and do it, that's an illegal hit. So first down over again. They'll put the ball out at the 42-yard line. So another penalty here against Richland will be for 15 yards, and now that's 50 yards in penalties on 5 flags against the Bombers.
And a 1st and 20.
And the rain's really coming down once again. Going up the far near sideline, and Shook. He did catch that ball.
He did.
One-handed catch.
Interference.
Down inside the 10 to about the 5-yard line. Are you kidding me?
Oh, boy. And that wasn't bad coverage. Right with him all the way down. Maybe a little bit of hand combat then inside the 10.
Peyton Guest was on the coverage for Eastmont. The flag down on the field is for pass interference, and we believe that's against the defense. And that penalty flag will be declined, and a 1st down for Richland. They'll put the ball down at the 4-yard line, gain of 38 yards on the pass play. My, oh, my. Woodard. Turn, handoff, Stewart running left. Stewart is caught by 3 Wildcats as they'll put him down.
I don't think he got anything.
I don't think he did either. Back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and goal coming up from the 4. Schumacher there, one of the first Wildcats to wrap his arms around him. And that's something we've seen, too, several times on the running plays, is guys bouncing off of Wildcats for Richland. So 2nd down and goal from the 4-yard line. Woodard, back of his jersey, dirtied right now. You can barely read the number 4. He's going to go throw right, the ball up into the air, and it is incomplete. Out of bounds is the receiver. Pretty good coverage that time for Eastmont.
Good coverage that time, right in the corner of the end zone. That little fade pass to the corner, and good coverage.
Bring up 3rd down and goal from the 4.
Tanner Schuster, the intended Richland receiver, not passing complete.
Schuster was the intended receiver. Coverage by Peyton Guest, who was whistled for that pass interference moments ago. So 3rd down and goal from the 4. Pretty good stand so far here for the Wildcats. Woodard gets a snap. Turn, handoff, and it is Stewart again, and he's not going to get to the end zone. Good job on the defensive side for Eastmont as they rally to the ball. It'll bring up 4th down and no gain on the play from the 4-yard line.
Great defensive stand by the Wildcats inside their 10-yard line, inside their 5-yard line.
Well, this will be interesting. It'll be a kick field goal from the 11. So a 21-yard field goal attempt here. Colby Whitby will be the holder. Kick is on the way, and it is good. We will take a 60-second break. 8:08 to go here in the 3rd. 17-9. It's Richland on top. You're watching playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
1989, I moved here in July. My dad farmed. My brother's still on the family farm. I worked for a dealer in Lewiston, Idaho. I was his general sales manager. My boss goes, I got a guy that may be ready for a store. We made one trip here, and that's how I ended up here. I'd never been here in my life, and I had no friends here. I have nothing, you know. I do now. I have a lot of friends here. I mean, this is my home. I love living here.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
Welcome back. A short kickoff here will be signaled for a fair catch. 2 guys run into each other. The ball loose on the ground. Richland says they have covered it. We'll have to unstack it and see. Eastmont, I believe, was able to cover that football. And boy, that is dangerous. That is a live ball back there. And just like in baseball, you got a shortstop going out in the outfield. You got an outfielder coming in. You got to give way to the outfielder to make that play.
Absolutely. Boy, what a game changer that would have been in a tight ball game like this. Richland get a turnover inside the 30. Eastmont lucked out there.
10-play drive, 56 yards, ends up at the 4-yard line. 21-yard field goal makes it a 17-9 game with 8:09 left on the clock when that score occurred. It's 8:05 right now, and if you're Eastmont, Grant, you got to start worrying about having enough time for possessions here to get the lead back. They'll start this drive at their own 29-yard line. Handoff is to Ruffins. He's trying to pick his way. He'll cut it up and then be undercut as he took a step towards the 30-yard line.
It's like about a yard there, Eric, is all.
Wow. Good job by Richland stretching that play out and just one-on-one plays, and Richland making those plays.
And Ruffins waiting for a block that just didn't happen.
Second down coming up from the 29, maybe a half a yard on that play. Motion man is King. Back to pass goes Gale. Throws out the flat to Colby King. He collects it, gets it across the 30, and then finally spilled down at about the 34-yard line.
Colby King, Wildcat reception.
King, by the way, that is just his 5th reception of the season, Grant.
Wow.
So it'll be third down coming up from the 34 after a 5-yard gain. Brings up third down about 5 here for the Wildcats.
It's only his 4th touch of the football tonight altogether.
2 receivers in the formation, 1 to either side on a third down and 5. Bombers with a 4-man defensive front. Handoff again. King running to the right side. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and maybe got a yard ahead out to the 36. Good job standing it up by Zach Rose. He's laid some wood here tonight here for the Bombers.
Don't you get the feeling, Eric, that Richland is kind of figuring out maybe a little bit this wing T? It seems like they're a little more comfortable in what they're seeing out there.
Yep, and they're getting penetration.
Right.
And that causes problems here for the Wildcats. They're going to punt it away on a 4th down from their own 36, 4th down and 3, as Edgar Leon will come in to punt the ball away. And you've got both Charlton and Shook, speedy returners back there. Second punt of the night for Eastmont. And we got a whistle before the play, and a flag came down, and it's going to be a procedure call against the punting team, Eastmont. 4th penalty of the night for 30 yards against Eastmont. 5 penalties and 50 yards against Richland.
There was a procedure call on that extra point in the first half that cost Eastmont a point and a missed extra point,
right.
Remember?
That's right. So they'll put the ball back at the 31, and Richland looks like they're going to get great field position. High snap, punt away, and it's blocked by Richland, and the Bombers are going to get it back at the 16-yard line. Coming up with the block for the Bombers, it was Luke Stanfield.
Huge special teams play, and boy, you almost had the feeling that one of these teams were going to pull something off on special teams, and it was Richland, and now great field position to take control kind of this ball game.
They will have it at the 17 is where they'll put it down of Eastmont with 6:03 to go here in the third quarter. Richland's second possession of the second half. And like you say, if you're the Bombers right now, after a big play by your special teams, I think you go for the end zone.
You're not taking field goal. No way, Eric. You're exactly right. You go for the points here.
So first down and 10. They're going to ask a lot of the Eastmont defense, but we're going to get a timeout taken first here by Richland. We'll take a 30-second break and come back with 6:03 to go here in the third. 17-9, Richland on top. You're watching playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35-plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Our broadcast of football here tonight on the NCWLIFE Channel brought to you by Harvest Valley Pest Control, living healthy, local, and pest-free. You can rest assured that Harvest Valley Pest Control uses kid and pet-safe material around your home or office. Call Harvest Valley Pest Control today for your free estimate at 509-423-2207. Also by Les Schwab. At Les Schwab, they take your safety seriously every time you stop by.
Boy, and Eric, I think this is a statement drive right here. Eastmont could not afford to have Richland get into the end zone here. So this defense really has to step up on this possession.
Josh Woodard, the junior quarterback, gets a snap from center, pumps left, now throwing towards the end zone. Receiver coming open, and we got flag down. Incomplete pass, but it's going to be against the defense, I believe. Beautiful little pump and go. And the receiver going up the far sideline, I think that was Shook, the intended receiver.
The one thing about it, you got to turn your head. You got to watch that ball in the air. That little bit of contact, sometimes they'll let that go if you are looking back at the ball and making a play at the ball, but the defender for Eastmont just wasn't looking back.
So that's a half the distance for that penalty. It's a 15-yarder normally, but since they were at the 14, 15-yard line, they'll go half the distance down to about the 8. So it'll be first down and goal from the 8. It should be an automatic first down. I don't know why they have the sticks still up. I think it should be first and goal here on a pass interference play. Woodard, turn, handoff, Stewart up the middle, and this time he will not be denied as he takes it in from 8 yards out. The touchdown puts Richland up 23-9.
Nice game for Landon Charlton in this one. That's for sure his first touchdown of the night, but now approaching 70 yards on the ground for Charlton.
Excuse me, Charlton on the carry. I saw the one. I didn't see the other one, as Stewart has 31. Jersey getting a little dirty out there on this natural grass surface. 8-yard touchdown run by Charlton. The extra point is blocked,
it
but
was offside,
I think Eastmont getting a little bit of a head start there.
Offside penalty against the Wildcats.
So taking advantage of the blocked punt is Richland to put 6 points on the board, as they'll mark it half the distance. So it was at the 3, now it's at the 1.5 on the point after touchdown. And a hush falls over our damp crowd here tonight at Wildcat Stadium. Extra point on the way, and it's good. We'll take a 60-second break and come back with 5:52 to go here in the third. It is gut check time for Eastmont. They trail the Bombers 24-9. You're watching playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE Channel.
You've got a lot to do today. While you're out and about, remember to dispose of your unused medications safely and anonymously. It's a simple act that makes your home a safer place. Next time you're at the pharmacy, just place them in the drop box. To find a location, visit medproject.org.
Well, the drive after a pass interference play, so it only goes one play, 17 yards. Half of that was the pass interference. The extra point makes it a 24-9 ball game with Richland on top, 5:52 to go here in the third. And if you're Eastmont right now, you have to answer.
You have to. It's imperative right now because Richland seems like they're in a groove right now, don't they? Especially on defense. They've done a great job of stopping the run, which could force Eastmont to do something they really don't like doing, and that's put the ball in the air.
Well, the good news for the Wildcats, they should get decent field position here. There was a penalty flag on the extra point, 15 yards against Richland. They mark it off here on the kickoff. And so now Jason Slack will have it teed up at his own 25-yard line. Slack's kick, high end over end, will come down to the return man at the 28, 30, 35, and then caught from behind, which you don't say that very often when Colby King has the football, as he's taken down at the 40-yard line. I wonder if Colby King is feeling well. We haven't seen him be too much a part of the offense tonight. And now he comes to the near sideline. It just maybe not looking 100%.
This is the least we've seen him touch the ball in all the games we've covered this year. No doubt about that. So I'm kind of wondering about that too, Eric.
5:47 to go here in the third quarter. And Eastmont really needs to lean on this offensive line and get some points on the board as they trail it now 24-9 with 5:47 to go here in the third quarter. Luke Gale under center, sends a man in motion, handoff Gunnar Peterson up the middle. Oh, tripped and then falls at the 45, and it looked like he could have had much more than that.
Boy, he really could have. Just a hand on him there. Linebacker Ukiah Jones just got a footer. That would have been a big gain.
Second down and 5, still a 5-yard gain on first down. Luke Gale, by the way, has to be the most conditioned player on Eastmont's team because after every play, he has to run over to the sideline and get the play directly from Michael Dunn and then run back out there on to the huddle. Handoff again, Peterson picking his way ahead. He's going to be ahead enough, I believe, out to midfield for a first down. It's going to be awfully close. Ooh. The official here near side going to put him about a half a yard short.
Wasn't the greatest spot in the world, I don't think, but...
So they'll officially say the 49, Eastmont side of midfield on a third down and 1 here. Well, we've had an interception on a tip ball and a blocked punt, but that's been it.
Right.
And now Eastmont jumps off sides, and so they will have to back up 5 yards. They wanted to go with a hurry-up, no cadence snap. And now a flag going to be thrown against Eastmont. I think
somebody said something.
Yeah, they're going to mark it back another 15 yards. Goodness gracious.
From 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6, and now 3rd and probably 21.
3rd and 6, and then 15 yards on top of that, and now a timeout taken by Eastmont. Goodness gracious.
Coach Don wants to find out what happened.
Just not smart. That's all there is to it. Our broadcast tonight brought to you in part by Sangster Motors, family owned and operated, home of the all-new electric Hummer pickup and SUV. Also by Save Mart. Shop smart, shop local, providing outstanding value and service since 1962. So the penalty flag on the 5 yards for motion and then 15 yards unsportsmanlike conduct takes it all the way back to the Eastmont 29-yard line.
Wow.
That's 6 penalties and 50 yards now against Eastmont in this game, and something we talked about before the ball game. A game like this, Eastmont has been kind of hamstrung by penalties this year, and again here tonight.
And it not only hurt in a tight ball game, but when you're trying to get back into a game, they hurt you even more.
Well, and now you're behind the sticks, so you got 3rd and about 20 coming up here, and meanwhile you had 3rd and half a yard.
That's
just
right.
A breath ago
at midfield.
Yeah. Getting ready for our next season of sports here on the NCWLIFE Channel. Before you know it, basketball is here. And we will have you covered on the NCWLIFE Channel throughout the winter, starting in early December. Motion man, Gale back to pass, throwing deep downfield. The ball is caught.
Beautiful pass.
And coming up with a football, but wait a minute. Okay, I thought for a moment the defender took the ball away as Adrian Ruffins was coming down with it, but it is a big first down on a gain all the way to the Bomber 32-yard line. Wow.
It's like 39 yards on that play.
Yeah, exactly. 39 yards to the 32 of Richland. How about that desperation situation?
First catch of the night for Ruffins as well.
So Ruffins, well, he has a 22-yard average, so I guess that stands to reason. Handoff is to Peterson. Peterson barely gets to the line of scrimmage, and then it's met by Stewart and company as the Bombers attack. Going to be a loss to the, well, they're going to say, it'll be nice and say no gain on the play. Second down for the 32 coming up.
Boy, Stewart, if he hits you, you know you've been hit, haven't you? He's an impressive linebacker.
As they say, you stayed hit.
Yeah, you stayed hit.
Second down and 10 coming up for the Wildcats after a huge play on third down that looked like it was an impossibility, but they get the first down and more. Incredible. Now, can they convert? Second down coming up from the 32 of Richland. Back to pass, Gale looking right, throwing right. The ball is caught out there. Gain of about 9 yards on that pass play. As it is Jace Travato on the catch. Gain of 9 brings up third down and 1. No, they're going to say a first down.
Wow. Okay.
Ball will be spotted at the 21-yard line. So, 11 yards on that pass play.
22-yard line. And that reception is good for another.
So a couple of catches for Toronto in this game.
Right, 35 yards, 2 catches.
They'll split out to the Richland side again here. Yeah, wouldn't that be something if Eastmont starts throwing the football when we thought it was going to be Richland throwing it, Eastmont running it. Now a late flag comes down.
Ooh, that's on Richland, it looks like to me.
It looks like it is. A little extracurricular in the defensive backfield here.
Wildcat ball carrier. Leading the tackling for Richland, Lonnie Stewart.
So let's see what the penalty flag is. By the way, 6 penalties, 65 yards unofficially on the night for Richland.
It was linebacker Isaiah Galvez that said something back there in the backfield.
So Dennis Brandstetter, our referee, talking it over with his staff about this penalty flag. And Mr. Brandstetter has a look on his face like he might wave this one off. Brandstetter walks away from the clutch of officials, and dead ball unsportsmanlike against Richland. So there you go. And, oh, my, ejection from the game.
Wow.
And ejection from the game. Oh, my.
It's Isaiah Galvez.
Oh, my gosh.
6 foot, 200-pound senior.
Oh, my gosh. That is huge in this juncture of the ball game. Outstanding linebacker has been ejected from the contest. That means, by the way, he's not available for next week if Richland continues on in the state tournament.
That's true. He said something back there for sure.
So half the distance penalty will take it down to the 10-yard line.
That's good for another.
So 7 penalties and 76 yards unofficially here for Richland in the ball game. And, of course, a long conversation for Dennis Brandstetter and Mike Neinhold, the head coach for Richland. And, you know, we obviously are a heck of a long way away from it here. But there was a contact that was made. It was kind of out of my view because I was watching where the ball was at the time. It was in the defensive backfield, and then the 2 players separated, and then the flag came.
Right.
And so I didn't see a push or a shove or anything like that. Fans below us here obviously not happy that Richland's complaining about the penalty, but I don't blame Neinhold or the Richland staff to get an explanation because you just lost one of your best players out there.
I would be upset as well, yes.
So the officials continued to talk it over. Dennis Brandstetter having arms folded across his chest, listening to Coach Mike Neinhold. And Mike's probably saying, you know, you don't hurt me here, but you hurt me for next week if we get past this. So,
but how long does it take him to get his point across?
Well,
here?
But that's true too. And
I mean,
and there could be a situation too where he could be protesting the ejection. Because you have to note that right now in this game, because of an ejection, you have to protest it as the game is happening, and then it goes to the WIAA, and then they decide. And by the way, the WIAA never goes against the officiating crew.
No.
Hardly ever do they go against the officiating crew, especially if it was something said.
Right. Because then it's he said, he said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is an interesting situation here. Meanwhile, the players are waiting to get the game going again as we sit at the 2:59 mark remaining here in the third quarter. Richland just took a touchdown and a 24-9 lead, but Eastmont trying to counter that. Meanwhile, momentum. You know, we talk so much about that in high school football. Momentum, even though Eastmont's down by 3 scores here, this could be huge in this game.
It could. Absolutely. Plus, they're losing a great player on defense.
Yeah, again, Isaiah Galvez, the 6 foot, 200-pound senior, and then you throw that on top of it. He's a senior.
That's right.
And this could be final hurrah of the season. So after the long conversation over on the far side, Mr. Brandstetter comes back. Meanwhile, the crew that's left on the field has adjudicated the foul as far as the march-off is concerned. And so it will be first down for Eastmont just outside the 10-yard line. So technically they could get a first down without having to score here. Meanwhile, the rains continue to fall here at Wildcat Stadium. It is a cold, cold night.
This has taken so long that they're playing music here now in the stadium.
Well, I mean, because they're trying to drown out some of the cursing that's happening from the crowd down below. So first down from the 11, we'll call it. So here comes Luke Gale and company. Sends a man in motion. Handoff to Peterson, right side. Spins away from a man. Inside the 5, down to about the 3-yard line. Gunnar Peterson, workhorse tonight here for the Wildcats.
Once again, looked like nothing. Nice blocking. Picks up 8 yards on that play.
2nd and 3, we'll call it. Again, they can get just inside the 1 for a first down. Of course, if you're the Wildcats, you want to get this in the end zone. Toot sweet.
Yeah.
Trailing it here 24-9 as time winds down in the third quarter. Gale under center. Sends a man in motion. That's Ruffins. Handoff again. Peterson left side. Peterson into the end zone. Touchdown, Eastmont.
Just what the doctor ordered for the Wildcats. Down 24-9. Now back within a score pending this extra point.
Peterson's second rushing touchdown of the night gives him 8 on the season for the 5'8", 173-pound junior. Now the all-important extra point, as it's been an adventure here in this ball game.
Gives Peterson 99 yards in the game.
Edgar Leon will try to tack on the extra point here. The snap is high. The spot down. Good job by Schneider to get that ball down, and the kick is good. We'll take a 60-second break and come back. 2:11 to go here in the third. 24-15 is our score, or is it 16? It's 16. There you go. And we'll come back next here on the NCWLIFE Channel.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And a lot of people were losing jobs. Friends had left the community. It was a hard time. That football team, and companies like Abby's, kept that place alive and the community spirit alive. That's legendary.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Well, the drive for Eastmont, 8 plays, 60 yards. Extra point makes it a 24-16 ball game. Ensuing kickoff will come and bounce short and then be picked up by Charlton on the return across the 25-30. Look out, flag down. And Charlton still chugging ahead all the way into Eastmont territory, but I think this is going to come back with a hanky down at the 25-yard line.
Preliminary call is holding, Eric. I think you hit it right on the head, but boy, what a run by Charlton.
Well, a new ball game here now with the help from the flags. Eastmont trails it 24-16, and a great return called back here by for Richland. Let's go, as they'll mark it back from the 25. I think they'll have it at their own 15-yard line on a first down play. Meanwhile, there's 2:02 to go here in this third quarter. A lot of football to be played.
There is a lot of football to be played. A one-score game now, Eric. If you're Richland, you want to keep running this football and drain this clock and maybe get some points out of this, I would think. But watch them come out and throw it every play.
Well, that's a challenge here for the Bombers, is to overcome these penalty flags that are coming against you here on the road tonight. First down and 10 from the 15. And Woodard has thrown a little, not a lot so far in this game. Let's see if he opens it up here. Going to throw left. The ball almost
and then
intercepted
caught.
and picked up by the Richland receiver. He's ahead across the 40 out near midfield. Oh, my.
Wow.
Almost an interception and then a reception by Shook. He'll take it all the way to the 47-yard line.
37 yards on that play, or I should say 27 yards. That was a nice pass.
Actually, 32 yards.
Oh, was it 32?
Yeah, from the 15 out 32. To the 47. So first down and 10, Richland ball, and the ball dropped as Woodard couldn't hang on to the football. That's the first time we've really seen that tonight with a slick ball and a slick night, and Woodard dropped it as he got the snap. Lost all the way back to the 42, a loss of 5 yards.
Get your hands up when you pass that line. Take the ball down to the 42-yard line.
Minute 20 to go here in the third. Woodard looked like he wanted to throw again on that play. Second down after the 5-yard loss. Woodard gets the snap this time, has pressure, gets away from a man, rolling to his right, looking deep downfield, chucking it all the way, looking for his receiver. He was looking for Bosick, overthrows him. It's incomplete.
Boy, great penetration from the cornerback on the blitz. Peyton Guest had a shot at Woodard, just couldn't quite get him down, but good penetration by the defense.
And good coverage downfield there as they had the receiver bracketed on either side. And just a chuck brings up third down from the 42. Third down, 15 yards to go. Gonna watch that passing route over the middle here if you're Eastmont's defense. Woodard looks to his left, gets the snap, back in the pocket, has pressure again, rolls to his right, now has room to run it. He's across midfield and into Eastmont territory, going to be pumped out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. He's going to be about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. Good job by Guest that time, coming up as Woodard scrambled. Meanwhile, Woodard complaining that he may have been hit in the head, and we got flags on the field again, and this one may be coming back. We'll see. Too bad a game like this has to be determined by penalty flags, but this is a hold against the defense. How about that? Maybe a defender slipped and then reached out and grabbed one of the wide receivers, and that's why Woodard didn't have anybody to throw to. So we'll hold up here and see what Richland will decide to do. The penalty flag is a couple of yards behind the line, or the front yardstick. So it's 3 yards from the previous spot. Mike Neidhold is clear out on the field, 10 yards out to talk to the official about the options here. So it's a spot foul on a hold.
Not an automatic first down.
No, not like in the NFL. So it would be third down over again and about a yard to go, or you got fourth down and 2 yards to go. So if I'm Neidhold, I take the third down situation. So the official, Dennis Brandstetter, comes out, and they will mark off the penalty. So 10-yard penalty brings up third down, and they'll put the ball at the Eastmont 46. 7 penalties and 60 yards now against Eastmont in the game.
This last 4 minutes of the third quarter has taken longer than the entire first half.
It's like the final 35 seconds of an NBA game.
Right.
So third down, and now they'll, after the ball's been sitting in the rain forever, they'll bring a fresh ball out here. That was something that... So now the official will move the ball ahead.
Third and 1, just like you said, Eric.
Okay, so they'll put it at the Eastmont 44 after the penalty. Third down. Now Mike Don comes out onto the field and wants an explanation of why it's third down over again and not fourth down. Well, it's a holding play during the play. So... And it's against the defense. So you get the down over again and the yardage. So Kirk Lyons comes over and explains it to Michael Don, and not to his liking. And we've had more discussions between officials and coaches here in the last 5 minutes than we've had football.
It's been unbelievable.
Our broadcast, by the way, tonight here on the NCWLIFE Channel, brought to you in part by Together for Youth, encouraging you to dispose of unused and expired prescriptions to protect youth and the environment. Find a kiosk near you by visiting medproject.org. I'm going to need some ibuprofen after the end of this
guess.
one. And so, too, will the coaches on either side of the field here. So now, Michael Don having an extended conversation with Dennis Brandstetter.
I think he lets coaches have the conversation a little bit too long. He really does. You got to keep the flow of this game moving.
To say it's a halted pace would be an understatement right now.
Right.
So we wait. And, you know, no matter what the coach says, he's not going to change the official's mind. But placate them with
they're going to move them back.
Argument? No, I don't think so.
Oh, they're not.
They're
okay.
just Richland at 3.
All right. Wouldn't that have been something? He won the argument.
So 3rd down and 1. Meanwhile, by the way, a huge play coming up.
Absolutely.
Richland trying to answer Eastmont's score to cut the lead to 1. Now we're running the clock with under 50 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 1. Josh Woodard, the junior quarterback, stands in the shotgun. Gets the pass from center. Turn, handoff, and then Stewart gets away from one man. He'll get the first down to the 41 of Eastmont, and oh my, the Wildcats had a shot in the backfield.
Sammy Garcia.
Was it Garcia?
Yeah. He had a shot and almost had him.
41-yard line is where the ball will rest after the play, and that'll be our final play of the 3rd quarter as Richland will head to the sideline. We'll collect our breath, and we'll find out what happens in the final 8 minutes. 24-16 our score as we head to the 4th. You're watching playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill, located in East Wenatchee. Highlander Golf Course has added 2 state-of-the-art full-swing simulators. Food and drink service is available from our full-service bar and grill, offering breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Indoor and outdoor seating available. Call Shalane, our on-site coordinator, to schedule your special event.
Well, they traverse ends, and we'll have a first down for Richland from Eastmont's 41-yard line after the good gain by Kaylani Stewart. He hasn't carried the ball many times tonight, but, man, he has been successful when he has touched the football. First down and 10, ball right hash mark here as Richland will go from right to left as we look at it here at Wildcat Stadium. Throw out the flat here. They got it to Charlton. Charlton tries to pick his way ahead, and he slips and falls at about the 35. But a decent gain on first down of 6 yards on the pass play.
On the tackle for the Wildcats, Joe Shoemaker.
And we're seeing that a little more, Grant, as the game has progressed. We're seeing a little slipping and sliding that we didn't see in that first half.
You know, it's been raining this entire game, so it's bound to get slippery. But, boy, what a great job this crew has done on this field.
3 receivers wide to the right here as Woodard will set them up. Bombers just happy to run that play clock and the game clock down as they enjoy a lead and they have the football at the Eastmont 35-yard line. Woodard back, handoff Charlton, and Charlton gets away from yet another man in the backfield and has a gain across the first down yardage necessary inside the 35 down to about the 27-yard line. How about that? And Charlton and Stewart all night long have been bouncing off that initial tackler in the backfield.
Who would have thought Richland would have this ground game here tonight, and they've been dominating things on the ground. Very surprising.
First down from the 26. New set of downs gives Richland a chance to chew at that clock a little bit more that you were talking about earlier in this second half. as Woodard will send his trio of receivers wide to the far side. Bosick is out there, Schuster out there, Shook out there. And I guess you stay at the run game here. Nope, they're going to throw it. Woodard back to pass. Going to go for the end zone and has a receiver open.
Wide open.
He will collect it, and it will be a touchdown pass of 26 yards. The third scoring strike of the night for Woodard. And again,
Bosick.
It is Bosick, the freshman, coming through.
Second touchdown of the night for the freshman Brody Bosick, and what a beautiful pass again by Josh Woodard. Receiver got behind that defensive coverage and easy touchdown.
Also, we should say great blocking up front. He had a lot of time to throw that football. So Jason Slack in to try to tack on the extra point as Richland answers the score by Eastmont with a score of their own, and the extra point is good. We will take a 60-second break and come back. 10:32 to go in the ball game. 31-16, Richland on top. You're watching playoff football on the NCWLIFE Channel.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They set, in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
I'm Brian Thorpe, and I'm proud to say that Global Car Care is growing. We always do the right thing, and because of that, we're busy, and it's time to hire an experienced automotive technician. We spend as much time with our coworkers as we do our own family. I want them to understand they're not a number here. They're a person with a family, and I want them to be part of this family too. Do you want an owner that understands and respects what you do every day? I'm that guy. Our compensation is the best in the area. I want you to have your career with us.
Slack with the ball teed up, getting ready to kick it back to Eastmont, and we'll probably see that short kickoff again as he's been doing all night long. He approaches, and it is a short, high kickoff, taken by the up man at the 25, out to the 30, and across the 35 to about the 36-yard line is the return here for Eastmont. The drive for Richland, impressive. 7 plays, 85 yards. The 26-yard scoring strike from Woodard to Bosick. And remember, Grant, Bosick caught another one that was called back on the penalty, so that would have been his third. His second touchdown reception of the night. Extra point makes it a 31-16 ball game as Eastmont gets the ball back, and they'll have 10:25 left here in the ball game to try to get back into this one.
You need a score here, Eric, but it doesn't have to be quick. I mean, you can take a few minutes off the clock here, but you got to get a defensive stop. But it doesn't have to be in the first couple of plays here, and that's what they're doing.
Boy, a loss on the play as there was lots of penetration by the defense. And we got a Wildcat that's slow to get up and finally rising to his feet and not doing so well for Eastmont. Is that trying to see?
There is Mendy.
Is it the center, or was it Arellano 75? Whatever the case, a loss on the play with the defensive man coming up into the gap, and I think that was Colby Whitby, who is playing in place of Isaiah Galvez, who came up and made that play. So second down for Eastmont from the 35, and a handoff up the middle, and not much happening again. As you mentioned, Grant, they're doing a great job of sniffing out those option plays. This time in the middle, Jackson Jones makes the stop for the Bombers.
I really think they are figuring out this wing T just a little bit. They're staying at home now. They're not taking the bait on this wing T, and they're staying in their positions.
Well, and we talked about that too, about how they've got 7 men in the box and bringing up an extra, so 8 men in the box and just daring Eastmont to throw the football.
They are.
Third and long coming up for the Wildcats. Suddenly it's 3rd and 8. Splitting out wide to the left is Jackson West. Ruffins wide right. The other Ruffins goes in motion. Back to pass, the ball thrown on the flat, the ball cut by Adrian as he'll take it across midfield and to the Richland 48-yard line. Boy, he hasn't caught many, but they've been big here tonight.
15 yards on that one. Yeah, it's only his second reception of the night for 54 yards.
That continues his average on the season. Adrian Ruffin's 22.6-yard average per catch. Of course, you make a 56-yard game-winning touchdown last week. That kind of helps your average.
It sure does.
First down and 10 from the 48. Ruffins goes in motion. Turn, handoff. It's Peterson running left. And Gunner is got maybe 2 yards before he's stacked up over there. And coming up on the play for the Bombers defensively was Torrin Belliston, who's been busy tonight. Gain of a couple of yards to the 46. Clock continues to wind here with 8:27 to go here in regulation.
Richland only gave up 18 points a game during the season in the Mid-Columbia, and boy, you can see why. It's a sturdy defense.
Definitely. 16 points given up here tonight as Richland leads it 31-16. Gale under center. Austin Ruffins in motion, looking for his brother. A little pump, a little go.
He got him.
He's not Ruffins. It's a catch made by Jace Travato inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line.
What a play that time. Beautiful protection for Gale, and he, threw a strike down the sideline and a nice gain for Eastmont.
32 yards on the pass play to the 18-yard line, and I just assumed it was Adrian Ruffins over there.
Right.
But no, it's little 80 Jace Travato with the catch. He's only 5'7". He's only 121 pounds, but playing large right there.
67 yards on 3 catches tonight for Travato.
Turn, handoff, Peterson in the middle, and again, just walloped hard. Boy, there's been some hitting going on. Zach Rose again with another hefty hit for Richland. Gain of 2 to the 16-yard line.
Been a little bit tougher sledding for Peterson here in this second half. His biggest run in this second half, 8 yards.
He's over 100 on the night.
He is over 100 on the night.
Second down and 8 here for Eastmont. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Nearly 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Down 2 scores. Turn, handoff. Peterson tried to get free again. He will get a first down as he's inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. He does pop up. There was a little consternation there after the play. Well, I thought he had enough for the first down. They're going to say no.
Marked him a little bit short.
Down to the 9. Gain of 7. Third down and 1. So you go back to earlier in this half where Eastmont had 3rd and 1 at midfield and then kind of stepped on their own toe and ended up having to turn the ball over. So a 3rd and 1 here. Turn, handoff, Peterson, right side. He's got the first down to the 6-yard line. Gain of 3 when you needed 1.
Gunnar Peterson carrying the ball for the Wildcats.
Once again, not much Colby King here for Eastmont in this second half either. 21 carries now for Gunnar Peterson in this game.
King is in as the wingback left. Ruffins the wingback right here on first down. And again, they'll hand it off to Peterson. No, it was Colby King that time. Just as you mentioned his name, he takes it down to the 3, a gain of 3 yards on the play.
First carry of the second half, only 4 carries now in the night.
Under 6 minutes now. Tick-tock.
Yes.
Tick-tock. You can kind of hear the crowd underneath of us, the Eastmont fans, saying, hey, hurry up, hurry up. And now it looked like a fumble. No, it's a touchdown for Eastmont. How about a fumble Ruski?
That was amazing. What a play.
Peterson takes it in around the left side. It was Parrott fumbled by Gale, but no, he touched the ball. They put it down on the ground. Peterson picks it up and takes it into the end zone. Touchdown.
That is it's almost like the old Statue of Liberty play or something like that. Great trickery and a touchdown for Eastmont. Just what they needed, obviously, here in this fourth quarter.
So, as we mentioned every time, the all-important extra point. Edgar Leon will kick it out of the hands of Graydon Schneider. Snap is back. Better snap this time. The kick, a line drive, and it is no good. Wide to the left. Ouch. We will take a 60-second break and come back. 5:39 to go. It's a 15-point ball game. It is a 8-point ball game. 9-point ball game. There, get it right, Eric. 5:39 to go. 31-22 the score. We're back after this.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
So the drive for Eastmont, 10 plays, 64 yards, took 4 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock. The 3-yard touchdown run by Peterson, his third of the night, by the way. Eastmont now trails at 31-22 as the extra point was no good. So now 9-point differential.
Too early, or too early for some trickery here, maybe?
Richland is ready for the onside kick. They've got their hands team is out there.
I would be considering it myself.
Eastmont with everybody down to a knee here, and the ball is kicked. The ball loose momentarily, but then covered by, it looked like Shook had it. No, excuse me, it was Tanner Schuster who covers the onside kick, and so Richland will have great field position at its own 46-yard line.
We're going to see a lot of Landon Charlton and Kaylani Stewart, I think, right here with 5:39 left. Speaking of Charlton, by the way, 93 yards so far in this one, so we can go over 100 on this drive.
How about that?
Yeah.
Charlton came in, by the way, with 314 yards rushing on the season, almost a third of that here tonight. First down from the 46. Eastmont needs to pin its ears back and try to, make a tackle on the first contact.
Right.
They haven't been able to do that much here tonight. Handoff, and it's Stewart, just as you mentioned, and they do collect him and drop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, as it was Leonard who came through on the stop for the Wildcats. And when do you start using your timeouts, Grant?
It's getting about that time.
It is. Michael Don is about 20 yards away from the nearest official on the Eastmont sideline as he's talking it over with his quarterback, Luke Gale, right now. Second down and 10 from the 46 for the Bombers. Clock winds now, 5 minutes left in the ball game. 31-22, Richland on top. Back to pass, Woodard throws out the flat. The ball is caught out there, and the receiver gets away from one man, and then will be taken out of bounds on the far sideline after a gain of about 8 yards after the catch. Oh, they had him, but again, Richland just being slippery here tonight.
Boy, they really are, and the catch is Schuster that time. He's been kind of quiet in the second half, his first catch. But you mentioned it, Eric. You got to make the tackle on that first contact. And if they would have done that there, it would have been no gain on that play. Instead, they go for almost 9.
Third down and 1 from the Eastmont 45-yard line. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Snap to Woodard. Is back. Handoff. Stewart caught in the backfield and dropped for a loss on the play.
Big hit.
And that making the tackle is Josh Leonhard. Big play for Eastmont, fourth down, and does Richland go and try to wrap it up here? No, they bring the punt unit on.
I don't blame them. Their defense has been playing well in this entire second half.
And Eastmont needs to score twice.
They do.
So, of course, you punt this ball away. Slack will come in to punt the ball away. Eastmont getting a man off the field last second. As it's Schneider back to return the punt. Boy, could they use a good punt return right now. High end over end kick, and Schneider calls for a fair catch. He muffed the football and then covers it. So he lost about 3 yards on the muff. And Eastmont will have it at its own 9-yard line. 91 yards to go from pay dirt, and you need 2 scores.
Boy, it looked like Schneider might have had some room to run that a little bit. There was about 6 yards between the defender and him, but fair catch, there's no time off the clock either that way.
If you secure it.
If you secure it,
yes.
Yeah, right.
If you don't secure it, then the clock continues to wind. 4:06 to go here in the ballgame. Eastmont football. Appreciate you joining us all night here on the NCWLIFE Channel. A huge audience on our Facebook stream. Thank you very much. We've got a ton of folks from the Tri-Cities that are watching right now and all over Eastern Washington. Been a good one to watch. There has been some penalties and now maybe another penalty.
I think so. Halftime at Huskies Stadium, it's Oregon State Beavers 14, the Huskies 7.
Okay. Update on Pac-12 action. And I think they're going to make Richland punt it over again. And I don't even see a flag on the field.
I didn't either.
Goodness.
Just another conference out there.
Yeah. So the penalty flag. Of course, the fans are asking for more time to be put back on the clock. It's going against Richland. So it'll be 4th down over again, and they'll put the ball back at the, 47 was where it was before the punt.
And now another discussion across the way.
Oh, I didn't see a flag, Grant. Along with Grant Olson, I'm Eric Granstrom here on the NCWLIFE Channel. And for the old audience back in the Tri-Cities when I was at Kona Radio, I didn't use my whole last name back then.
You didn't, just Eric.
I was Eric G.
Eric G.
My grandmother was furious with me for not using my last name. So 4th down and 8 and another punt. And boy, Eastmont came jailbreak trying to get it. Good punt by Slack. It takes a Eastmont bounce, and, they gained about, 10 yards in the process. It's at the 24. No, more than that. They gained 15 yards in the exchange. So it's been some interesting officiating here. I'll say that. But you got to play through it and past it, right?
And Richland has tonight.
And they really have.
They have.
I mean, they have. Yeah, I don't blame Bomber fans if they feel like they've been kind of homered here on the road tonight. There's been some interesting calls. Back to pass goes Gale. Looking right, now has the pressure, and now is going to be taken down for a sack on the play. As it just took too long as he was looking for Adrian Ruffins downfield. They'll put the ball at the 22, so a sack of 2 yards lost on the play. Peterson comes out here as Eastmont will go to a shotgun. And again, Luke Gale throwing out the flat. The ball is intercepted at the 32-yard line. The receiver fell down on the play. He's asking for pass interference.
Right.
There's no flag down. Interception, and Richland can just about ice it right here on the interception.
Interception by the Bombers made by.
That was a heck of a play by the defensive back to make that catch.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Seth Shook is the man who made the interception for the Bombers. And just a great all-out sellout to fly through the air and come up with the interception.
But you're right, Eric. I think Travato, he thought he got pushed or held or something after that interception. Doesn't matter now.
3:26 remaining. Eastmont, I believe they still have all 3 timeouts. I don't know if that's reflected on the scoreboard or not.
It says 2 for each team up there. But
all right. Handoff left side, and again, it is Charlton. And he has a man dragging on his heels as he takes it inside the 30 to the 29, and a timeout going to be taken by Eastmont.
Holding on to the tackle is Skyler Bryant for the Wildcats.
Bryant on the tackle here for the Wildcats. So Eastmont stands in the hourglass of their season winding down here at home. They were hoping that some home cooking would help them here tonight. They've had a little assist from the man in stripes, but haven't been able to really take advantage here as they trailed it at halftime by a score of 14-9. Richland came out, scored a field goal to start the second half, and made it 17-9. And then Eastmont had a punt blocked. Charlton took it in a play later from 8 yards out. That made it 24-9. Eastmont got a touchdown on Peterson's run from 3 yards out. Made it 24-16 with 2:11 left in the third quarter. Woodard would find Bosick on a 26-yard touchdown pass. Made it 31-16 with 10:23 to go in the fourth. And then Eastmont with the counter, capping a 10-play, 64-yard drive. Peterson with the touchdown run from 3 yards out. And that made it 31-22. And that's where we stand right now. 2-score differential, 1 timeout left for Eastmont.
It just seems like Eastmont's running game got stuck in the mud here in this second half. It really did.
Kind of literally and figuratively.
Right.
Second down and 8 for the Bombers. Woodard, handoff. And it is Stewart, and Stewart breaks a free. He's inside the 15 down to about the 10-yard line, and that will just about do it.
19 yards, good blocking once again by the Bombers up front. And a nice game for Stewart on the ground tonight. He's approaching 70 yards on the ground.
They're going to have almost 200 yards rushing tonight. Impressive. And an impressive game plan for a wet track here tonight for the Bombers.
Great coaching, it really
give their
was.
coaching big kudo here. 10 on the play clock, 2:53 on the game clock. Snap to Woodard. Again, handoff, surprise to Stewart. Stewart stood up, and then here come the Paws trying to break that football free. And he's holding on to that like a kid with a new toy at Christmas time and saying, no, you're not going to get that away from me.
Not right now, no.
Ball is down to the 7 after a 3-yard game on that play.
Carry for Richland inside the 10 near the 7.
Well, if this game continues the way it is, we will wrap it up here from the booth here on the NCWLIFE Channel as we grow towards 9:30 in the Great Northwest. Woodard in the shotgun on second down and goal. Turn, handoff again, Stewart, and Stewart wants to get into that end zone here tonight. He'll be finally tumbled down to about the 4-yard line. Third down coming up from the 4. Third and goal from there. And a timeout going to be taken here, the last of the game for the Wildcats. Well, I'll tell you what, Grant, it's been a great season. And getting a chance to get back to normal. I think that's the biggest takeaway
nice?
from this season, where we had football in September.
And it was beautiful.
And it was gorgeous.
It was.
Then we had, of course, the 5th season here in North Central Washington, as we've come to know. Fire season.
Right.
Smoke season. Unfortunately for the players and for the teams, that meant playing inside a lot. Practicing inside a lot. Having games moved around. In fact, Eastmont losing a game off the schedule that was scheduled here for Skyline at Wildcat Stadium. They moved the game over to Western Washington to Sammamish, and it got smoked out over there. It shows you what kind of strange year it's been.
It has been a strange
year.
It's
been nice to get back to normal, in quotations.
And a great season for Eastmont, too. It really was. High expectations for this team. Lots of players back. Get a share of the Big 9 title. Have a playoff game at home. So I'm sure they'd have liked to come out with a victory here tonight, but all in all, a good season for Eastmont.
Yeah, definitely so. So after the timeout, it'll be third and goal from the 4. And if you're Richland, you just want to put an exclamation point on this game here tonight. Handoff Stewart, left side, caught by one man, and then 2 more will come as they try to stand him up and try to tear at that football. And he'll be taken down for a loss on the play back to about the 9-yard line. It'll be 4th down from there. And 30 on the play clock, minute 30 on the game clock. So they will have to run one more. Oh, my. Of course, a penalty flag.
Followed by a 10-minute explanation.
Unsportsmanlike against Richland. Wow. Okay. So a dead ball foul will come against the Bombers here. And that'll be 15 yards back. And so that'll be 91 yards and penalties unofficially against Richland tonight. 7 penalties and 60 yards against Eastmont. So 4th down back from the 23. And then you start looking at the seniors on the roster for Eastmont. Starting with Austin Ruffins and Seth Stone and Sammy Garcia, who had his season cut early with an injury. Kellen Leonard. Oliver Scarmazzino didn't get a chance to play this year. Grant Johnson. Colby King. Richland 4th down and goal now from the 23-yard line. Woodard going to throw again. looking for the end zone. And this will be almost caught. Seth Strick went up, but almost came down.
I thought
with
he
that
had
football.
That ball was money again.
Oh, it was. Over on downs it goes, so Eastmont will have a chance to chuck it as they'll have it from the 23. One more final hurrah here with 1:21 to go. No timeouts. He's going through the seniors on the roster for Eastmont. Andrew Swan has been spectacular his whole career. Isaac Quesada, Gabriel Urizmendi, Gael Gonzalez, all have done well for Eastmont's their senior year and their careers coming down to a game here tonight. Incredible Hail Mary touchdown to beat Moses Lake last week that they'll remember for a long time. Back to pass is Gale. Throws it up for grabs, and the ball almost caught by Adrian Ruffins. It was tipped by a defender. Back there was
He's getting
Zach
good
Rose.
at that.
Yeah, definitely so. So second down from the 23 coming up. Again, I'll tell our crew here. So again, there will be no post-game down on the field for our crew here at Wildcat Stadium. Toss over the middle is to Colby King. He spins away from a man and finally gets involved in the offense tonight. Gain of a head out to about the 30-yard line, gain of 7 yards there.
One catch for 4 yards in the first half for King, and now this 7-yard reception here in the second. That's a quiet night for him.
Yeah, definitely so. 56 seconds. They say, did he go out of bounds? I didn't think he was out of bounds. And again, a discussion with the officials. Okay. Third down coming up from the 30-yard line.
Reset 102.
Oh, they're resetting the clock to 1:02 seconds. Apparently, he did go out of bounds. I thought he was about 5 yards.
I did too.
Out of bounds over there, but you know. So Gale rolling to his right, throwing, and the ball is overthrown the intended receiver, Ruffins. Coverage downfield here for Richland by Race Reeves. And that brings up a fourth down for the Wildcats. Well, it'll be interesting to see how the seeding comes down and how the draw is done on Sunday by the WIAA as they use the RPI rankings to help them decide which teams go where when they do the seeding for all of the levels of high school football after a weekend of playoff action. Snap back to Gale again, rolling to his right, now throwing, and again throwing a little bit out of bounds.
That was close.
The catch was made by Travato, but he is out of bounds on the reception, so it'll go over on downs, and this one will go to the Richland Bombers here tonight.
They earned it. They really did.
Yes, they did. They came out here and did something that they had not shown the ability really to do all season long, was run the football. Right. Yeah, sporadically here and there, but not on a consistent basis, and definitely not for an entire game. But they came with that game plan in mind here tonight, and they really carried it through.
I don't think this was something that the coaching staff of Richland thought, we're going to try to run the ball tonight. I think they saw something on film this past week that said, I think we can run the ball on this team.
Well, and again, smart play calling with it, you know, the forecast. They knew all week that it was just going to be miserable here tonight. Excuse me. Victory formation. One snap of the football. They might have to snap it one more time. So Eastmont trailed it at halftime, 14-9. They do to get a couple of scores here in the second half, but not enough to match up with the Bombers here tonight, who come on the road and knock off the Eastmont Wildcats by a final of 31-22. So good luck to the Bombers at the State 4A tournament. Eastmont's season comes to an end, and they will finish it at 5-4. We'll take a break, come back, get to the final numbers in this one here from Wildcat Stadium on the NCWLIFE Channel.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE Channel.
Hello, television family. Grab your cup of coffee each weekday morning and join me. I'm Dan Kuntz, the host of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's everything you need to start your day. We're live and we're local at 7 a.m. every weekday on the NCWLIFE Channel.
1989, I moved here in July. My dad farmed, my brother's still on the family farm. I worked for a dealer in Lewiston, Idaho. I was his general sales manager. My boss goes, I got a guy that may be ready for a store. We made one trip here, and that's how I ended up here. I'd never been here in my life, and I had no friends here. I have nothing, you know. I do now. I have a lot of friends here. I mean, this is my home. I love living here.
Thanks to Les Schwab Tires, I'm a confident backseat driver, but Mom's a little stressed about spending. Remember, deep breaths and watch your speed. Even though we're watching our wallets, Les Schwab is still watching out for our safety. So let's earn here.
Don't stress, just save up to $200 on select tires with financing at our Les Schwab Fall Tire Sale. Les Schwab Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Welcome back one more time around here to Wildcat Stadium, where the Richland Bombers come in and take care of business here tonight. They defeat the Eastmont Wildcats 31-22. Again, it was a 14-9 ball game at the half. Richland outscored Eastmont 10-7 in the third and 7-6 in the fourth to win it 31-22 here tonight. Turning to Grant Olson now for our final numbers here in the ball game. And again, Richland just very impressive with what they were able to do on the ground against the Wildcats here tonight.
Very surprising. I don't have the total number yet for Richland. I do have Eastmont, so can we do that first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's do that first. Eastmont ends up, the big rusher, of course, tonight, Gunnar Peterson, 23 carries, 118 yards on the night, and boy, it really fell off from there. Austin Ruffins, 5 carries, 28 yards, only 4 carries on the night for Colby King, ends up with 15 yards on the night. Landon Moore, 2 carries for 1 yard, and Luke Gale, 2 carries for 2 yards. Total on the ground for Eastmont, 154 yards. Through the air, Luke Gale, 7 of 12, 132 yards. Big receiver on the night, Jace Travato, 3 catches, 67 yards. Adrian Ruffins had 2 catches for 54, and Colby King, 2 catches, 11 yards, 132 yards through the air, a total of 286 yards for Eastmont. You have to give me a little more time.
I'll give you a moment there to add you can go ahead and do that right now, Grant. I'll just talk about what happened here in the second half for those that maybe joined us late. Again, 14-9 our score at halftime. Richland came out, drove right down the field to start the second half with a 10-play, 56-yard drive. Ended with a field goal from 21 yards out that made it a 17-9 ball game with 8:09 to go in the third quarter. Eastmont came out with its first drive of the ball game, and then it just didn't go well. They went backwards, a penalty, and then a blocked punt gave Richland the ball at the 17-yard line. Pass interference call put it ahead to the 8-yard line. That's where Charlton ran it in from 8 yards for the touchdown. The extra point made it a 24-9 game suddenly with 5:52 to go in the third. And it was gut check time for the Wildcats, and, well, they answered the call as they put together an 8-play, 60-yard drive. Peterson on a fumble. Ruski took it in from 3 yards out. Extra point is good, and that made it a 24-16 game with 2:11 to go. So it wasn't over yet. Eastmont would, however, allow another touchdown drive. 7 plays, 85 yards by the Bombers as Woodard hit Bosick, the freshman, on the 26-yard pass play. It was a pretty thing. 3:25 off the clock. The touchdown made it a 31-16 ball game, and that really kind of took the wind wind out of the sails of the Wildcats with 10:23 to go in the ballgame. But again, Eastmont able to answer. A 10-play, 64-yard drive. Peterson on the touchdown run, his third of the night, made it a 31-22 ball game because the extra point was missed. The second time Eastmont would miss their extra point in the ball game. So with 5:39 to go, it was just a two-score contest and then a punt. Eastmont gets the ball back, but they got it back at their own 24-yard line. Interception by Shook, and then Richland was able to take the ball down and just kind of eat up the clock, turned it over on downs. Eastmont got it one more time with just 1:21 left in the game. They could not capitalize, however, and Richland would run the clock out and win it here tonight by a final of 31-22. Final numbers for the Bombers here in this game?
Well, the first thing that stands out, more rushing yards than passing yards tonight. Leading the way, Landon Charlton, 21 carries, 95 yards on the night, while Kalani Stewart, 13 carries, 69 yards on the ground. Jacob Brannon, all first half yards, 3 for 29 yards. And also Josh Woodard, the quarterback, 4 carries, 10 yards, 203 yards on the ground for Richland tonight. Meanwhile, through the air, Josh Woodard, 12 of 17, ends up with a pretty nice night, 186 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And receiving-wise, the big receiver, Seth Shook, 6 carries, 96 yards. And also the freshman, Brody Bosick, he only had 2 catches for 26 yards, both of them touchdowns. Through the air, 186 yards for the Bombers, a total of 389 yards to Eastmont's 286.
And penalties, by the way, 8 for 91 for Richland, 7 for 60 for Eastmont. And that really kind of was hamstring to this game in the second half. There got to be a little bit too much involvement by the officiating staff here with a lot of flags in that second half, including an ejection, and that is a situation.
You know, the flags aren't so bad, Eric. It's the conferences after the calls. It took forever tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Isaiah Galvez was ejected from the game for Richland. So if that stands, and that could have been part of the discussion that was going on about a protest regarding that ejection, but that's going to be a tough one to overturn, and Richland will have to head through its first game of the state tournament without that very talented linebacker here tonight. That's going to wrap it up for our broadcast, and we want to thank our crew who's been here tonight and slogging through the rain, and it's a cold, wet night here at Wildcat Stadium. Our line producer is Dan Kuntz. Back in the studios where it's warm and dry, Malcolm Whitehall and Matthew Moore. Here on cameras tonight has been Matthew Ortiz, Connor Hawk, Clark Sims, and Caleb Plank. For my good partner, Grant Olson, I'm Eric Granstrom. That's going to wrap up our fall sports season, again with Richland coming out on top of Eastmont tonight, 31-22. Have a good night, everybody.
Now handoff up the middle again. Peterson's got some room up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats.
This has been a special presentation of NCWLIFE Channel Sports. Today's broadcast has been brought to you by Abby's Pizza, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, Global Car Care, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Highlander Golf Course and Grill, Les Schwab Tires, and Sangster Motors. Be sure to tune in for more local sports right here on the NCWLIFE Channel. We now return you to normal programming already in progress.
Win the district championship.